something just a little gems with jewels. Y'all heard about them two girls that falsely accused their teacher of engaging with them inappropriately, and come to find out they was lying on them? Let me tell y'all something. There needs to be a law, like a federal law, all 50 states, to where if a woman gets caught falsely accusing a guy of inappropriate engagement, she should serve jail time. And if she's underage, juvie time. She should serve some type of time. She should have something on her record. Somebody need to put an incentive on these hoes to not be evil, basically, because that's some fucked up ass shit. Even though, you know, he was he's innocent, man, reputation is a motherfucker. I would sue the hell out them girls' mammy for defamation. I swear to God I would.
Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. We about to have a really, really sincere conversation, family, and I need you guys to bring your thinking caps. I need you guys to come to the table as a community, because we need to make a this needs to be with everybody in thought, everybody in mind. Yes, there's a thing called defamation and slander. Absolutely, Phoenix Rising. But what I'm going to suggest is that should there be a federal law passed against some types of accusations, some type of false accusations, we have to focus in on these to create balance in our world and our community, guys. There's a horrible imbalance. First of all, let's just say this is a very real thing, okay? People are sexually harmed every day, and women being the majority of who this happens to. So, of course, rightfully so, we want to protect women, absolutely, because they are the ones who stand, in large part, victim to these heinous sexual assaults, okay? And so we definitely focus on this, and so because we've hyper focused on protecting women from sexual assault, I believe that we have created an imbalance. A lot of times when we go to protect one person, if we don't consider the totality of it all, we often create an imbalance. But it's time, family, that we start making better decisions to better protect our sons and our daughters, our mothers and our fathers. And so this lady right here, she's giving an interesting rant. And I've made this rant before. However, when I made this rant, it offended someone. And they went on a rampage, slandering my name, all because of my opinion on this. And I think they took it as I wasn't being sincere about the victims whenever there is a victim, but that wasn't the case. So we're going to get into that today, guys. And I really want you guys' opinions. I want you guys in the comments. First of all, let me get some shout outs to you. And I'm starting right up. I'm just going to start doing that, just getting right with it. Joe Will, music, welcome in. Wiggins Compa Music, welcome in. Two people here who doing music already. The first two, that's dope. Like to hear what y'all do. Again, Phoenix Rising says there's a thing called defamation and slander. I responded to that. And welcome in, Phoenix Rising. It's good to see you. Didi Brockington says hello, Kevin in chat. Sabby says hey, Kevin in chat. TA says rise, Kevin in chat. Spicy Brown says hello, Kevin in chat. Joe Will Music says damage can be catastrophic and unrecoverable. Absolutely right. The Queen's Quarters, welcome in, love. She says rise and shine, welcome in. Be sure to hit that like button as you enter the truth factory. Absolutely, because that's all we give in here. This is a factory of the truth, okay? That's all we manufacture here, is giving you guys the truth. Street Credit Promotion says men are the victims. Now you can't trust anything a woman say. And we got to deal with that too, because if we go that route, we're creating another imbalance, because like Street Media is saying, to his point, there's so many different storylines that come out now where there's false accusations. So absolutely, a lot of women are taking advantage of the believe all women concept. They're taking advantage of a system that is there to protect them, family. And they're weaponizing that system to destroy men that they're angry with. And no one should have that type of power. Okay. And so it is getting to a point to where people radically do not believe what women say. And to me, that right there destroys it destroys everything that we're trying to do, because, you know, it's not about belief. It's about investigation. And we're going to get to that, though. TA says, I agree. Something needs to be done for lying about DV. This is serious. Defamation should be a punishment also, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Terry Dow says, Kevin and family, peace to you, Terry Dow. Good to see you, brother. That brother there is a Amazing supporter, bro. If everybody was like Terry Dow. And I see him do this for everybody, not just me exclusively. This brother knows how to support. He is amazing. I think everybody would want all their people to be like Terry Dow. All your content would be shared. Everything would be commented on. Everything will be liked. And that's what you want is your supporters interacting with your content. That's what truly helps you overall. Believe it or not, that goes further than super chats and cash apps, family. Bina Yasharala says, I'm being slanderized and stalked by groups because of my gifts. Groups are doing witchcraft on me based on lies. And see, listen, there needs to be laws in place for this, Bina, because it's too easy to do, okay? It's too easy to destroy somebody with a lie. And so we have to crack down on this, okay? TA says lying makes it harder for women who has really been abused. That's actually going to be my first point that I'm going to tackle. And I'm so honored to have Chatty Cathy here. Chatty, if ever so ever you are available, my link is always going to be dropped for you because I'd love to have your opinions, of course. Today we're talking about false accusations and just the detriment that they have on people. True accusations, what they have on the actual abuse, the actual victim. And should there be a federal law, and how should that law be? Okay, we're going to talk about just a few of those things. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to get right into it. I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time with filler. I want these lives to be quick and sharp. Try to get out of here within the hour, because I have a whole lot to say, as my mind likes to break everything down to its smallest molecule. So if I can cut out the filter time, I can get through my lives, and they won't be 3-4 hours. Okay. All right, so let's get to it. I'm gonna replay this reel, and we're gonna get into this topic, family.
Hey, y'all, some just a little gems with jewels. Y'all heard about them two girls that falsely accused their teacher of engaging with them inappropriately, and come to find out they was lying on them? Let me tell y'all something. There needs to be a law, like a federal law, all 50 states, to where if a woman gets caught falsely accusing a guy of inappropriate engagement, she should serve jail time. And if she's underage, juvie time. She should serve some type of time. She should have something on her record. Somebody need to put an incentive on these hoes to not be evil, basically, because that's some fucked up ass shit. Even though he was he's innocent, man, reputation is a motherfucker. Right. I would sue the hell out them girls mammy for defamation. I swear to God I would. Tell you.
False accusations destroy lives. On both sides. Let me break this down for you. When someone falsely accuses another, they are not just harming the accused. They're hurting every woman who speaks the truth about real harm. When trust is broken, survivors face doubt, judgment, and silence. Society begins to wonder, I wonder if she's lying like the rest of them. And that hesitation is a betrayal to every woman who needs justice. But it doesn't stop there. For the falsely accused, the damage is permanent. Reputation, gone. Career, over. Mental health, destroyed. Some even lose their lives over the accusation alone. So why should the punishment be directly proportional? Because the damage is, if the accused would have faced a certain amount of time in jail, then so should the false accuser. Does this make sense? That's the only way to restore balance, family. It's not about men or women. It's about fairness and truly protecting everyone. Investigate every claim. Hold the guilty accountable, whether it's the accused or the accuser. We must protect the innocent. All of them.
Word on the street. Hey, y'all, something just
messed up. Hang on. We must protect the innocent. All of them. False accusations don't just harm people. They destroy the system itself. And we all deserve better. Peace.
Hey, y'all,
welcome in, Chatty Cathy. It's great to have you here. I also see Talks with Pimo in the comments. I'm glad you're here. Jeannie Robinson. Twitty Mill says, preach. I know you're going to understand this all too well. We know I can name a ton of college athletes who had bright futures who lives was completely destroyed by somebody lying on them, man. And we play like this don't really be happening. We got to stop this. So no further ado, Chatty, welcome in. What's your thoughts so far?
I love the topic. Peace, brother. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Peace to
And I'm
you.
for it. And I'm for it. And you know, a lot of women, there's some sort of girl code into where society thinks that we're always supposed to, you know, rally up against the women. But there's so many situations that we've seen in which women are wrong. And when you have accusations such as DV or grape, and that person didn't do that crime, oh well, I 100% they need to be accountable. I think it should be a punishment, maybe something with 1 year jail time, and if it ruined their reputation or monetary in any way, I think that should escalate to maybe even 3 years. And I think that would eliminate a lot of the problems what we see with women are so easy to place a crime on a man that did not commit it. I 100% believe that there should be jail time. 100%.
Absolutely. Now I'm taking this all the way to the limit, Chatty. And you may disagree at first, but I think by the end of the video, I'd like to ask you your thoughts again. My proposal is that penalties be directly proportional to what the accused would have gotten if they were guilty. So if you say somebody raped you and they absolutely did not touch you, and you know you're lying on them, you know you are, you're not confused about it, you know you're lying on them. If they are innocent, you should get the penalty that they would have received. You are weaponizing the police system. All the harm that could have brought that person that you are accused is still present in everything that would have been done to you if it were true what he did to you. So if you're going to seriously crack down on a crime, you have to make it so bad that people don't do it. It's almost like in other countries, if you steal, they chop off your hand. You know, the crime rate's lower there. You only got 2 times to get some good stuff. After that, you're stealing donuts and spare tires. You know, and it sounds horrific. You chop somebody's hand off for stealing. Listen, man, people don't steal. And if you know that the penalty is that great for what you're accusing somebody of, that it can be on you, you probably won't do it. Now, before we even break this down, I'm going to definitely give you a good argument for why I believe this should be. But what's your thoughts initially before we explore this?
So I understand you correctly. So let's just say if the crime that they were accused of in their state um, is a 10 to 15, you think that the accuser should receive that sentence?
If the person they accuse is innocent and it's a fact that this person knew they were lying, they knew they were falsely accusing this person, they should receive the same penalty that the person would have received had they been guilty of what you're accusing them of. That's my proposal.
I don't know if we're on the same page on that one.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I think in the event that the party is proved innocent, I think that there still should be a jail sentence. And I think if they are proved innocent and then on top of which they lost their job or situation, then I think the sentence should double or triple. So let's just say I accuse Joe Smith and Joe Smith didn't lose his job. Everyone rallied against him. I think I should serve a minimum of maybe a year or 2. Now, if I accuse Joe Smith and Joe Smith has lost his job and reputation, I think that should triple then to, 2 to 4, 2 to 8. But as far as the crime itself, which could do a maximum, some depending on where you're at, like 25 years, that might be a bit harsh for me. But I don't know. I might stand corrected.
Okay, again, it's all based on your opinion because we as a community is going to all pitch in a vote to make our community a better place for everyone in the community by the end of this video. And to do so correctly, we need proper data. And so I like what you're saying. At least you're not saying it should be a slap on the wrist. I mean, it's just a lie. They only told a lie. But the person who actually did the graping, they held you down against your will, did all of this, and you're comparing apples to apples, so to speak. And based on that, you're saying, well, one of them shouldn't even be a crime. It's just lying. So I do appreciate that you said, no, there should be a penalty. I just wouldn't go as far as making it directly proportional, right? And so I get that. And so we're going to explore all the data that we have or that I've put together. And of course, you can give your thoughts as well. Chatty, P, Mo, all you guys, welcome in. Real Spill with Donuts, my sister right there. Welcome in, love. It's somebody else I saw in here too that I'm very familiar with. Love their opinions as well. And I'll find them again. I just slipped over. Angry Cowboys fan. What's up with you, brother? Welcome in. You probably won't have much to say on this topic. What? Because you are. I'm making it like you a jock. You don't have nothing to say, but you probably do. I like to hear your thoughts on some other subjects anyway. So if you feel the need to make something known on here, you definitely can. And matter of fact, while we're on the subject, there is some accusations and some things that hit the media here recently in sports media with Joy Taylor and all these people, right? Skip Bayless and all this. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but it's a frenzy. Okay, it's crazy the stuff that's going on out here in these streets. But I'm going to play the beginning of her video again, not my part, but her part, because I want to go get into this video and break this content down. Let's continue. Let's get to it.
I'm just a little gems with jewels. Y'all heard about them two girls that falsely accused their teacher of engaging with them inappropriately, and come to find out they was lying on them? Let me tell y'all something. There needs to be a law, like a federal law, all 50 states, to where if a woman gets caught falsely accusing a guy of inappropriate engagement, she should serve jail time. And if she's underage, juvie time. She should serve some type of time. She should have something on her record. Somebody need to put an incentive on these hoes to not be evil, basically, because that's some fucked up ass shit. Even though, you know, he was he's innocent, man, reputation is a motherfucker. I would sue the hell out them girls mammy for defamation. I swear to God I would.
Now, I'm going to go to this real quickly, and I want you guys to actually see this story. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to read this story. Okay, well, Chatty, I guess, Chatty, you could read this story with that amazing voice you have there. But I don't know how it looks to you either. I can see it clearly with my big computer in front of me, and I'm sure that you're probably looking at a small screen. How does it look to you?
Relatively small for me.
Okay, I'll read this then.
Okay.
It says, inside the alleged plot of two teenage girls to frame their male teacher as a sexual predator. The girls have been charged with 1 count each of false swearing for the purpose of violating public health or safety, cyber stalking, and online impersonation. Now, again, the girls have been charged with 1 count each of false swearing, and we got to find out what that comes with by the end of this video. I have no clue as of yet, okay? I wanted to explore that with you guys. 2 teenage girls in Louisiana were charged after authorities alleged they were tried. 2 teenage girls in Louisiana were charged after authorities alleged they tried to frame their high school teacher as a sexual predator who sent inappropriate messages to a student. On December 18, 2024, the detectives launched an investigation into a report regarding the male teacher at Central LaForge High School in Raceland, Los Angeles, I imagine, located about 45 miles southwest of New Orleans. Okay, it's definitely not LA. All right, who was believed to have exchanging messages with a 16-year-old female student, according to the statement from the LaForge Parish Sheriff's Office. The student, along with her 15-year-old friend, were believed to have been talking to the teacher through an online instant messaging platform, authorities said. However, searching the pair's phones, investigators learned that the inappropriate messages had been fabricated. The sheriff's office did not share the details about the messages. Authorities added that the online accounts were also fake, and the 2 girls whose identities were revealed had sent screenshots to others in an attempt to frame their teacher for sending inappropriate messages. Wow. The investigation proved the teacher had not sent any messages or photos to the girls. In fact, had no involvement. The sheriff's office said the teacher was actually proven to be the crime victim and has been cleared of all allegations. One of the 2 students also admitted to their involvement in the crime. The girls were arrested on January 6th and have been charged with 1 count each of false swearing for the purpose of violating public health and safety cyber stalking on online impersonation. Authorities said the teenagers were placed on electronic monitoring and released to the custody of their parents. It's unclear that they have entered any pleas or retained attorneys. Superintendent John Martin said the school is shocked and appalled to learn of the actions of 2 of our students. The allegations against one of the teachers were false and malicious. and we appreciate the efficiency of investigators in uncovering the source of these messages, he said in the sheriff's office statement. Such attacks on a teacher's credibility and reputation are concerning and can inhibit their ability to effectively educate our children. We are committed to investigating all allegations of misconduct in order to provide a safe environment conducive to the learning and working for all of our students and staff. Now, so as you guys see here, 2 students forged faked pages and began sending messages, fake screenshots, and all this to convict a teacher of sexual assault. Guys, this is crazy work. It doesn't say why. I would love to know their motives, but we're just going to keep it with the action of it. Look at what they've done to this man, and you have to imagine what that would have to be like during the time of just the investigation, seeing your family look at you like you're a pedophile, seeing your children look at you differently, knowing that people take law into their own hands and become vigilantes in wake of these types of accusations. These are heinous accusations. And then you got to think of this: if they have parents, fathers, and men in their lives, if these 2 girls are alleging that this teacher sexually assaulted them, look at the danger they're setting this man up for if the men in their lives were to become vigilantes. It's literally unreal. So it's almost like it's you putting a hit on him. You're also creating a reputation. You just destroyed his reputation. Even if he's found innocent, people may never actually see this person again, see this person the same way again. And also, those type of accusations are so embarrassing to the accused, the falsely accused, that many of them take their lives, just not wanting to live in a world where people look at them like that. It's very harsh. And I don't think that maybe these girls understood the weight of what they're doing being around 14, 15 years old, but they put a lot of work in to convict this man falsely. And they're at home right now. And this will probably be a slap on the wrist, as it's looked at as just some type of virtual thing. And they put like an electronic watch on them. That's not enough, in my opinion, because of what they've done to them. Now, these girls are underage, of course, so you have to look at that a little bit differently. But if these girls were 18 and up, I would damn sure be saying they deserve the same time that he would have gotten had he done that. And I'm going to say this first of all, ladies. This is not about women and men. It's about the accused and the accuser, because sexual assault happens on both sides. It happens to both men and women. Now, it does happen more to women, so we definitely hyper focus on protecting women from this harsh crime, but it happens to everyone. And so because it happens to everyone, it's a everyone thing that we all got to stand up against. Nobody wants to be sexual assaulted. Nobody wants you to be sexual assaulted, but we got to create balance here. And so when you create when you stand against something, okay, let's say we go trust all women because of how horrible this act is, and because women are the majority that this happens to. Let's say we say trust all women. These false accusers are disrespecting that when they tell lies. So the first thing that you're doing when you tell lies is you're destroying the trust and credibility of women who making this claim. And so we need to be able to trust women who come forward with this claim. While I don't believe it's about trust, I believe it's more about investigation. I do believe that a lack of trust or skepticism will cause a person to go silent and not listen to this person, not take them seriously. And that's how abusers get away. So we got to stop false accusations, because number one, it cripples the whole concept of believe all women. It weakens you guys. Chatty, do you understand where I'm coming from with that first point?
I agree 100%.
Okay, so there's an erosion of trust in the woman's voices. When false claims are exposed, they reinforce societal skepticism about real victim stories, making it harder for genuine survivors to seek the true justice that they need. And then you're undermining the woman's safety as well. Women should care deeply about addressing false accusations, because they actually compromise the integrity of the system that's actually designed to protect them. If I'm a woman, I absolutely would hate when someone falsely accuses somebody of something. What are you doing? This is a real serious issue. This happens to people. Do you know when this actually happens to people, what it does to them? And you're trying to usurp their power and weaponize it against somebody just because you don't like them. Yo, that's a real problem. No, it's not holding somebody down and taking their body. It's taking their life. It's this person saying, I don't want this person to prosper. I don't want this person to have a fair shot. So I'm going to play the devil or God and control that scenario. It's, to me, they're the same. One is controlling somebody's physical body and their life, and the other one is controlling somebody's life and ultimately their physical body. It's just with of course grape, you must take over the body first, and then of course the mind and all this stuff. But with a false accusation, it's you take over their soul first, and then it's their body with that lie. And I just see that as they're equally damaging because of what they cause the victims, not because of the action itself. Of course, the action is far different. My next one is going to be a call for solidarity. Women who value the truth and justice should advocate for holding false accusers accountable, whether that be for some jail time or a directly proportional jail time. But I don't think anyone in the real world should be saying I should just be some type of jail, some type of community service or something, or it's just a lie. It shouldn't be taken that serious and be investigated. And if it's not true, I mean, it's just not true. At least you innocent. I mean, why should you throw somebody in jail for lying? Man, stop that. That's crazy to me. I just wanted to give those thoughts, and I'm going to move on to the next point. Chad, is there anything that that you're thinking of right now you want to add?
Yeah, when it comes to them being minors in this situation, I think when they turn 18, similar to how we have a national registry for offenders, I think that should also apply for false accusers. So that way you have to register, and regardless if it was a mistake or whatever the case may be, where you might try to paint the narrative, I think that everyone should know where you live, your address, and people should tread lightly. Similar to if it's to me, you have offended a community, and I think everyone that lives or works with you should tread lightly and be aware of that. And I think that it should be a national registry for the falsely accused, because not only you're a minor in this particular instance, so you can go on with your life. 9 times out of 10, their identity is sealed because they're minors, but his isn't. Everyone knows exactly who he is, so I don't think that that's fair. So it should be some form of punishment, and I'm all for a national registry for those that have falsely accused men of either grape or DV, because on top of which is also triggering to real victims, because we're going to identify for a victim when they hear another woman's story. It's, oh my goodness, it takes them back to that place mentally. They experience that, it's triggering, they identify. So for you to then come out and say, I'm sorry, it didn't happen, you've now offended an entire community, and I think you should be liable. I'm 100% for a registry for the accusers that have falsely accused, especially with something as serious as grape, or something else.
That is so powerful right there. I could imagine this law be closely related to Little Red Riding Hood, or she was being followed by a wolf, or how they say the boy that cried wolf, or fake false whistleblower. I could see a law being created under that type of concept.
Wolf,
She's
hey,
cried
wolf
wolf.
law.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
wolf law.
absolutely.
I think that is
Um,
100% fair, because guess what? You are now, imagine being the man that works with the woman that made this accusation against the man 2 years ago. How
right.
would you interact with her if you knew she did that? I'm sure your interaction would be differently. I think they need to know. They need to register their behinds.
Listen, as a man, and I think many men on here can agree with this. And 20 mil, if you're on here, you're welcome up as well. D Ham, if you're on here, any man in here, you're welcome up. Men do not walk around with the fear of being great. It's just not something that's in our purview. Even though we know it does happen to men, we don't fear it. It just doesn't cross our minds. We're not thinking about some man being strong enough to manhandle us. If we went to an environment where that was possible, we would. If we were in prison, that is a whole different reality. So I just want to say, first off, there's a whole different reality from men than women. And women walk around with a stress that's naturally there. That's going to take a toll on her psyche and all, just because she's in a world where this can happen to her. It's why you guys go in twos to the bathroom. It's why you guys don't go out alone. Why you guys don't walk down alleys and things like that. You have to take necessary precautions, because you know what can happen to you. Chad, if you step on an elevator with me, I feel no fear, but you very well may feel a lot of fear. And that's regardless of what color I am, simply because of your gender and what comes with that. You see what I'm saying? Well, what I do fear is false accusations. So if I knew a woman had done this to someone, I wouldn't even want to be anywhere around her. Just like I'm sure you wouldn't if you knew a person had harmed somebody, had raped somebody before. You wouldn't want to
Absolutely.
be anywhere around them. This girl would be scary to me because she's trying to take somebody's life with these type of lies. I know what she's capable of. So I wouldn't want to work with her. I wouldn't want to walk down the same street as her. I really would want to avoid her, just like you guys would want to avoid the physical abuser. You know, so we do live in two different realities. What I fear is something far different than what you fear, but they're both still very real. You see what I'm saying? And what I'm trying to do is create a balance. What you said was so powerful, and I had not even thought about that. I'm simply just talking about the jail time, but you said a registry. That would absolutely be a step in the right direction to help a community stand against people who do stuff like that, because genuinely it's a pattern. People don't just lie on somebody one time. That's how they fight. It's like a man who hits a woman. This is not a one-time thing typically. That's how he fights. You see? And so when someone's angered to the point of letting that out of them, and you see what that looks like, know that that's an option for them when they get mad. That's how they do. And so you lie on one man, you lie on another. If you grape one woman, you would grape another. We have to keep an eye on you. But I mean, obviously, if it's grape, this man should never get out. But I'm going to talk about some things here.
And it's nothing for us to, you know, in our local states. All we need is one state. So you heard it here first. If we do work together and see something down the line, wolf law, I think that's a thing. And I think we're powerful than what we know. We are human beings, and to anyone listening, you know, wolf law can 100% be a thing. All we have to do is get one state. So
we are so powerful, guys. If we come together as a collective, we can change the world. I promise you. We complain about the world we live in, but we don't actually work together to change it. And when we see things like this, a horrible imbalance like this, where our sons are literally at risk of anyone who chooses to weaponize a system, we got to stand up, because in 10 years, you know how many men we would have lost to this type of stuff? We can't let this be in the millions before we stand up. And you guys got to understand it. I've seen this happen to so many athletes that were with the potential of going pro. So think about how many families they're destroying by taking those children from their parents. You see what I'm saying? It's unreal. Thank you, Tina Beth Lee, for the super sticker. And I'm going to play this reel one more time, and then I'm going to make some more points. 1 second.
Hey, hymns with Jules. Y'all heard about them two girls that falsely accused their teacher of engaging with them inappropriately, and come to find out they was lying on?
Now I'm gonna stop right there. The two girls who accused this man of engaging with them inappropriately, and come to find out they were lying on them. So even once it's determined that it's a lie, it still causes reputation ruin. Even after being proven innocent, the stain of the accusation often remains. The public often equates the accusation with guilt, leading to a lifelong stigma. And it's sad, but that's just how humans' brains work. Once we see that, it's hard to unsee it, okay? And then you got to talk about the person who was falsely accused. And I'm just going to say accused versus accuser, not man and woman, because I want you guys to understand it's not about men and women. When someone makes an accusation, a false accusation, the falsely accused experiencing reputation ruin, emotional trauma. The accused faces feelings of betrayal, anxiety, depression, and a loss in trust in people and the justice system. And this is when it's taken to the justice system. Most of the time, it's just taken to online or out in the community. And so the police often have nothing to do with this shit. It's just a social, like your community is now looking at you this way, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's almost like you'd prefer it to go to the authorities so they can redeem you by saying you're innocent, even though that won't necessarily change the public perspective of you. It's a very scary thing. Next is your career and your financial ruin. Many lose their jobs, their future career opportunities. Who want to work with somebody who got accused of rape even? They face financial hardship due to legal fees and the inability to secure work. People often treat those people like they got leprosy now. Social isolation. Friends, family, communities, they'll distance themselves from the accused. Feeling association with them ties them to them. And it's like once somebody gets accused of something heinous like that, you don't want to be around them, because it's like people gonna think I'm like them. And this is even if you know they didn't do it, you will distance yourself from them. And so there's this isolation created. All your friends and family, the people who you expect to have your back, actually distance themselves just because of how grotesque the accusation is, not because they think you did it. Just imagine that. You think, okay, if someone falsely accuses me, people gonna have my back. Well, if the accusation is so horrible, people will be afraid to have your back because of how they look having your back. Yo, that's too much power to the accuser. That's too much power. And then the risk of falsely imprisonment. Guys, some people are falsely imprisoned. And so if wrongly convicted, the accused could serve time for the crime they didn't commit, often facing extreme mistreatment in prison due to the nature of the alleged crime. And I don't know if you guys remember it, but I don't remember his name right off. I do have it. If you guys remember it, he did jail time. He actually did like 10 years. The girl who accused him of sexual assault, she sued the college and got a couple $1 million for $2 million. He ends up getting out 10 years later because she told a friend of hers that she lied, and the friend recorded it and all and exposed it. He ended up getting released because, of course, he's innocent now. And I think all they did was took the money back from her. I don't think they put her in jail or nothing. And this is after he was like, he would have been a first-round draft pick. Hey, if anybody knows this guy's name, put it in the comments. There's video footage of him getting relieved of that crime in court. He just breaks down crying like a baby. If you guys could think of his name, let me know and I'll show you the clip. He did, I think, over 10 years over a false accusation. He would have been a first-round pick. It was a black guy, white lady. He was found guilty, and only because she told one of her friends that she was lying on him did it come out. It's crazy, y'all. Chetty, have you heard about that?
I think I have, and it's driving me nuts trying to figure out who it is, but I did.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Hang on. What's the case where the girl, I think she was a white girl, she accused this guy in college of rape, and he did 15 years or something like that. She sues the college for a couple $1 million, and she ends up confessing to a friend, and the friend tells it on her and exposes the whole thing, and he gets released from prison. Who is that guy? Brian Banks, it says, I'm referring to the case of Brian Banks, a promising high school football star, Long Beach High School in California, 2002. At the age of 16, Banks was falsely accused of rape by his classmate, facing a potential sentence of 41 years to life. He accepted a plea deal on the advice of his attorney. This ain't the same guy, I don't think. I don't think it's the same guy because I thought it was a college athlete. But it says this guy was falsely accused of rape by his classmate, Juanetta Gibson, and that's a black lady, facing a potential sentence of 41 years of life. He accepted a plea deal on the advice of his attorney, resulting in a conviction that led to only 5 years in prison, followed by probation and mandatory registration as a sex offender. So this is not the same guy. So if anybody,
And that's
he was a
even
football
worse.
player, right?
That's even worse. I said that's even worse, bro, because here we are looking at one case. You're looking at one case and found another situation in which brother was falsely accused, and then he has to register.
Absolutely.
And she's just out here, no register for her, and that's fine. His life is ruined.
Absolutely
ruined.
And guys, I found it. Thank you so much, Lacey. I think this is Terrence Shannon. Terrence Shannon is an American professional. Is that basketball player? No, it's supposed to be a football player serving as. See, it's so many of them, Chatty. Playing for the Timberwolves in the NBA, born July 30th, 2000 in Chicago, Illinois. He developed the skills at Lincoln Park. In December 23rd, Shannon faced serious legal challenges when he was arrested and charged with rape and aggravated sexual battery related to an alleged incident at a bar in Lawrence, Kansas. He was subsequently suspended from the University of Illinois basketball team. Throughout the legal proceedings, Shannon maintained his innocence. In 2024, after a week-long trial, the jury acquitted him of all the charges, leading to a reinstatement to the team. So this is still not the guy. So there's so many of them. I'll stop here because I'm going to keep on finding cases. That's probably not it. But here's a few names. Of course, we know of the high school teacher, but there's Duke University lacrosse players. In 2006, 3 Duke University lacrosse players were falsely accused of rape by Crystal Mangum. The allegations led to national media coverage, public condemnation, and the cancellation of the team's season. After extensive investigations, the players were declared innocent, and the district attorney involved was disbarred for misconduct in December 2024. Mangum admitted publicly that she had fabricated the whole story. There's another one, Michigan State University athlete Keith Mumphrey. Former high school Michigan State MSU football player, falsely accused of sexual allegations that derailed his professional career. Initially cleared by both the university and law enforcement, MSU later reversed its decision without notifying Mumphrey, leading to his expulsion and the ban from campus. This action resulted in Houston, Texas releasing him from the NFL. Mumphrey eventually settled a lawsuit against MSU, but the damage to his career and reputation was profound. So they found him guilty and then later they found him innocent and then later determined he was guilty without him even knowing and ruined his career.
Tupac Shakur as well.
This is so crazy. Of course, we know about, well, again, like I said, the list can go on. Obviously, guys, false accusations are taking advantage of a system that's in place to protect people from a heinous crime. And for someone to take advantage of that system, it says a lot, you know. So here's my argument for proportional sentencing, Chatty. There are life-altering consequences for a victim of rape, right? Life-altering consequences. And so because of the life-altering consequences, this man should get severe prison time or life. Okay, equally, there are life-altering consequences when a man is falsely accused of sexual assault. Sometimes they can be convicted. Outside of that, if he faces several years or even life for this heinous crime, his life is over. Of course, he could obviously die in prison due to people mistreating him because of the thought of it. He loses years of his life, and even when he gets out, he's still looked at like an abuser, like a rapist. So a proportional punishment for the accuser reflects the severity of this potential outcome, that the fact that you can destroy their whole life. Another one is deterrence. A stricter penalty of false accusation serves as a deterrent, discouraging individuals from weaponizing the system or falsely accusing someone of malice or personal gain. So hit them with this heavy crime, not for the sake of saying that they're actually equal, but so it can deter people from doing this crime. It's too easy to do. To be able to have access to physically assaulting someone, you got to be in their presence. Okay. You got to do it when no one's around. No one can hear him scream. And you know how egregious that is. I don't want to keep on adding to that, but it's so accessible to be able to lie on someone. They don't need to be around you at all, and you can destroy their life. So we should deter them. We've done the work to make sure that we come down harsh for people who rape, but we got to do the work to make sure we come down harsh on people who accuse people of things like rape. And I think it should be directly proportional to what you're accusing them of. But again, it holds accountability to the accuser, the falsely accuser too. Just as we hold perpetrators of real sexual assault accountable for their actions, those who manipulate and abuse the system to falsely accuse should be held on an equally high standard. And then there's the broader societal impact. It's distrust in victims. And many women talk about this. Getting hurt like this is one thing, but telling people and them not believing you is a whole nother. And it's so unfair that they have to be faced with that simply because men have been lied on. I always say it's not about believing her. Your belief is not required, but your investigation is. If a woman makes a claim, if an accuser makes a claim, it should be 100% investigated with all resources that whatever precinct she goes to has. 100% as fast as possible because time is of the essence. Every time someone makes an accusation, but if they're innocent and the accuser is found to have made these allegations maliciously, there should absolutely be a penalty that is proportional in my eyes. Again, it causes distrust in victims. You're weaponizing protection for women. You're literally using the legal and societal protection for women and weaponizing it against the person that you don't like as a tool for malice. This is like it's criminal. That is criminal behavior. And then you talk about the polarization of genders. False accusations deepen divisions between men and women. It creates mistrust and animosity, and that animosity is why it's crippling our society today. Why we can't get along today. Welcome in Felicia. Felicia has, in large part, been the subject of many of our conversations because of what she suffered at the young age of 6 due to the hands of these type of abusers. And she says all the time the damage that is caused on her. It's absolutely unreal. And so we know that someone who does this to a person, to a 6-year-old little girl, takes her life, his life should be taken also. That action should be him giving up his life. He should go to prison for life or worse. I think there is no worse. I think life is the best outcome because, injections and things like that, I feel like that's the easy way out. Um, but it shouldn't even be a discussion, guys. If you're found guilty for doing this to somebody, it should be rule of thumb. Here's the law, and that's the thing that makes me hate American law is that it's about, something far different than just the crime in and of itself. The fact that people can get different time penalties for the same thing is just weird, and the fact that some people can pay their way out and end up being on the outside and just on a register, and they've done the same thing to somebody. It's just crazy, guys. The last one is it erodes the justice system. It erodes the integrity of the justice system. Allowing false accusations to go unpunished undermines the credibility of the legal system, making it appear biased or ineffective. And it wastes tons of damn money. I mean, you understand? It's so much that can be done. It wastes money. It wastes money. The false accusation alone wastes money to have the police out there on this witch hunt to find somebody. The investigations, the rape kits, all this stuff. He said, Brother Kev, the fact that you're having this as a discussion shows that this is getting out of hand. It's very true. It is out of hand. So we have to acknowledge the complexity of this all. In trying to protect one gender, we have also given that gender who has been victimized by this crime for so long, but we've given them almost like the key to imprison people who haven't done this to them, and that's not right. Chatty, what's your thoughts so far?
I mean, I still remain the same. I do think for any accused, they need to be registered. I think if the party didn't suffer any financial, loss, it should be a minimum sentence. I'm thinking 1 to 3. But then if it escalates into where they lost financially, then we get into the 4 to 8, etc. And I think they should have to pay the legal fees and all court costs. But as far as 10 to 15 to life, I don't think. I personally, I feel like it's almost, to me, I feel like it's the weak way out, because I feel like the world needs to know and see you every day. You need to walk around with this and try to get a job just like this person has to do. And when you're behind bar, you're going to get your 3 meals a day. Everything's going to be great. But I want this person to be able to try to have to function in society just as the party that you accuse has to now walk with that scarlet letter S because of you. And I think you need to also walk with that same scarlet letter S and register and let the world know who you are.
I will not disagree with that. I definitely think a lifetime registry is a step in the right direction. If we couldn't get this as a law that even punishes proportionally, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be excited to at least get something done on this in every single state where it's uniform. But what about this, Chatty? What about the nature of the accusation? If you're saying this person literally raped you, and this person did not do anything like that, it's absolutely malicious. So I mean, a false claim could be you thought this happened, but this is in this particular instant, you're saying this just to destroy this man. Okay, and if through an investigation that's determined, so I guess what I'm saying is, if someone says you made him feel uncomfortable, you tried to touch him, you did touch him, but you didn't hold him down. You know what I mean? There's levels to it. But let's say the most heinous level, they're saying this person held him down and did this to them, and it's determined it's a complete lie, absolutely false. This man has now went through being publicly shamed and will never have his reputation back. His life is completely over. Not to mention the mental distress is caused on him, his family, children, and everybody that happened. Could you see saying if that person would have gotten 15 years, then the accuser should have gotten the same? Or are you still saying it should be about 3 years or something like that? So a little bit heavier than.
Yeah, I'm still thinking the same, Kev, only because this person has to walk around with that. And I feel like with them being jailed for 10 to 15, it's almost like a cop out. They can get a certificate. Family and friends could visit. They might even be able to get a book deal of, why you shouldn't be me, and can still receive compensation for that. So jail isn't necessarily the holy grail here. I feel like they should have to walk around in society just like you're accused and try to get a job and let the world know. Sometimes I think shame is more punishment than actually being able to be put away, because I feel like that's almost the easy way out. You're going to get your meals, you're going to get your visits, you're going to get interviews, and you might even still be able to earn financially and gain off of the story, that the fake story that you told. How dare you? How is that fair? And my tax dollars pay for it. I want you to try to get a job, Susan or Sean, with this accusation. I want you to try to buy a home and live on the street where you have to register, and now your whole entire block knows that you are an accuser. You know what I'm saying? I feel like jail for that long, it's just a cop out. They just get to be away and still live their life, but the person has to try to function in society while they just get to be tucked away in their cell and can still gain financially with book deals or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. I still stand on that, Kev.
Okay, so let's come from the angle of deterrent. Okay, I believe laws shouldn't just protect people; they should deter people from breaking those laws. So I think there should be an extra sting on a law, a little bit of unfairness on the law. Like, is that because you would think it was wrong if somebody chopped your hand off for stealing, right? It's your hand, right? Like, damn, I know I stole something, but that person loses. Okay, they lose the potential net and gross they would make from that product, but you chopping my hand off, bro. That's not the same. No, it's not. But you ain't stealing, are you? Because you know what it's worth. So from a deterrent standpoint, do you think that people would be deterred from lying on someone more if it was a registry, or they could do the same time they're accusing that they're trying to get that person? Which one do you think would deter people from lying the most?
I have to be honest. I think the harsher sentence would definitely deter more. You know.
Okay, just from a deterrent. I mean, that's why I one of the things I say is you want this to be so taken so seriously that people do not do it. And of course that is a harsh crime. Like you lied on this person. Well, I mean, it's a harsh sentence for what you've done. You didn't hold anybody down and hurt them in that way, but because it's so prevalent and we want people to think about what they're doing, that's why I suggest that. And you're probably right. It probably shouldn't be directly proportional, but I do think severe prison time, 10, 15 years should be fair for something like that, because it's almost like if I went into your account and took your money, if I could take your degrees from you, everything you've worked for from you in a moment, that could get me 10, 15 years. If I could steal your wealth, steal your opportunities in life, ruin your family, and you don't call it a false accusation. If I just actually do this to you, then that could come at that time. But inadvertently, I'm doing all of that with that accusation. And so that's why I say, because of the damage and the toll it takes on a family, on a person, on a community for doing that, the penalty should be harsh to keep it completely out of your community. I love doing videos with you, Chatty, because you always get me thinking about something I never thought about. That registry thing, it just settles a lot. That registry would clean up a hell of a lot, and it would reduce the amount of crimes that's committed in that area. So that would, I'm trying to go over and above, but I can't really come against what you're saying here. What you're saying, the registry is a big step, Chatty. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
I guess I'll move to this.
But one second, to
Okay.
those coming in and disagreeing, I want to be clear to the topic. If you weren't here, this is the story of two young women accusing a man of touching them inappropriately. This is not about child abuse or child rape. My stance on that is those parties should just be deceased. I have no room to discuss men that do that with children. I just think they shouldn't exist and should receive the toughest punishment by law. But to the topic, it was about false accusations, and to the story, it was about the young girls accusing the teacher of doing that with them.
Absolutely. Guys, these girls are about 14 and 15. They joined together to lie on this teacher, forged fake pages, did screenshots, created messaging, and made it seem like this teacher was doing inappropriate things with them, and he ended up being found innocent. And so we're just talking about, for the falsely accusers, what should a penalty be? Obviously, should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. if he were guilty. But being that they are falsely accusers, what should they get? Because right now they're home with their parents. Obviously they'll forever be known for this, but I don't know if we as a society is taking this that seriously. Something like a registry, I believe, takes it in a real powerful direction, because that says this is a serious issue and you're going to be there forever if you were to do this. We're not playing around. We want to protect you ladies so much that if y'all violate this, y'all gonna get punished too, because you're ruining it for other women who are out here vulnerable. No, we're not playing that game, and this is for any accuser. And to be able to convict of this and make a decision on whether you're going to punish somebody and how. Let's talk about how we should go about it when someone makes an accusation. The phrase "believe all women." I'm sure you guys have heard it. It might come from a well-meaning place, but it's flawed in execution. Justice should focus on fairness, not blind belief. And so here's what I think. I think that if someone makes a claim, it should be, number one, investigated thoroughly. I don't think your belief is required. I think your belief is a problem. I don't think any officer, any investigators should use belief at all. They call it getting ahead of the investigation. Let's say there's a murder, okay, and a husband, he's dead, okay, he's on the floor. There's a knife next to him, okay. I walk in, I go, I knew it was the wife, right? Why? Look at the knife. It's right here. It's in the house. Most problems like this, most deaths like this is by a spouse. And I start using statistics and I say, okay, I think it's the wife. And now my investigation is confirmation bias. I'm looking for information that convicts the wife. That's wasting time as an investigator. Don't get ahead of the investigation. Take the fingerprints on the knife, do your work, and see who the investigation reveals as the perpetrator. But don't get ahead of it, because now you're at the wife's job, watching her with binoculars, trying to see what she's doing, what her motive was. All the while you're in the wrong person, in the wrong place, and the actual perpetrator is getting away because you got ahead of the investigation. Belief is not required, family. Only investigation is. Every claim should trigger a thorough, unbiased investigation to uncover the truth. This protects both the accuser and the accused. Guys, if I'm lied on, I want the police to investigate it, because that clears me. If you know you're innocent, that's not something you're gonna be worried about. You want them, yeah, come on, check. Come on, do what you gotta do. You replace belief with protocol. I don't need to believe you. There just needs to be a protocol. There's no need for blind belief when the process itself ensures the claim are treated with gravity and fairness. Why do I need to believe you? That doesn't help you at all. I'm gonna probably botch the investigation because I believed you. I should investigate it. Let's see. Upper says, "Oh, I thought Kevin asked the question, what should be the punishment for someone who commits an assault? And I thought the debate was whether or not they should get life imprisonment or that." Oh no, Upper. No, this is totally different. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this subject, though. I guess my proposal is that there should be direct proportional punishment for crimes like lying about rape and domestic violence. Where Chatty is saying that a registry would be a step in the right direction, and I don't disagree. I just think that there should be a harsh law that deters people from doing such a thing, like accusing somebody of rape. I think it cripples everything that we've done so far to protect women. So I guess I wanted to have the conversation about this, but my argument is really far stretched, and that's just where I would go with it. But if I had a group of people who were saying what Chatty's saying, I would throw my vote in, because that's a step in the right direction. A registry is a step in the right direction. However, I do believe that jail time should be with that. But I wouldn't be mad at the registry, guys. We don't have that right now. I mean, we don't have nothing right now. Oh, Lacey said, drop the link. 1 second.
Yeah, and I don't think that's in lieu of. I want to be clear. My stance in addition to. So I think
Okay.
that's not one or the other. I think any party, once the party is proven innocent, you should have to register. But as far as the jail time, I think if the party didn't lose their job or something, I'm looking at 1 to 3 years. But if they lost their job, I think we should get to something like 4 to 8. I also think maybe if that person lost their job, then they would have to pay their salary for the year. But the registry, I think that should be in addition to jail time. I'm not waiving jail time for the accused, for the accusers.
Okay, I got it. That makes sense. Okay, you just
Yeah,
said
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
proportional jail time.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
got you. Makes
My
sense.
stance, I just disagree with you on the amount of time. But
Okay,
I think jail time regardless, it just depends on how many years. But and I also think registry, that's just a given in addition to, not in lieu of.
I can get with that. I can get with that
Yeah.
100%. Okay, Sabrina says that's the only thing I don't agree with is being out on a registry because it's for offenders and not liars. Or what you'd be proposing, Sabrina, is a new registry, and it would be for liars, not offenders. And it's not just a lie. You have to think that lie is offending. That's what you're sexually offending this person by accusing them of rape. And so it's really the flip side of it. So no, it wouldn't be on the registry of sexual offenders. It'd be its own registry. What do you think of that, Sabrina? Its own registry for people who have told such lies, egregious lies. Because of the type of lie, there should be a registry for that so we can know who you are. That's very important. I don't know if it should work exactly like a sex registry where they have to let people in their communities know they're moving there. It may not be that serious because your children are not in danger through this person. But that being there should be something that's there for that can be looked up, not something that they have to let someone know about. So I don't think it should be treated the same as a registry, but a registry in and of itself is genius. That's freaking genius. To me, that's genius, yo. It really is. Because it's like you're logging these people. We need to know who's doing this.
Oh, absolutely. If my man is at his job and this woman was accused of this 5 years ago, I want to know about that. If my brother, if my uncle, or if she's on my street, or if my son goes to school, because who's to say that you won't do it again? If you intentionally, deliberately made up such a damaging accusation, I think everyone that you come in contact needs to know about that. Your employer needs to decide if they want to employ you. Oh, absolutely. I want to know. Absolutely. And the men in my family, they need to know.
Yeah, it should be a wrap for you. I don't know who's hiring you once you told a lie like that and destroyed a man's life or try to destroy his life, because you got to think he's still dealing with the reputation impact and the trauma of knowing he was lied on. And so really, you're probably doomed. So I get what you're saying. Life would be much worse for them being out here in the public, as it's not like they're not causing imminent danger. So putting them back in the public and letting them deal with and be accountable to what they've done. Yeah, I can see that now. It's all starting to make sense. You go apply for this job and even though you done went to school now, you've got your degree and master's and all this. And here this thing comes up in high school, in college, you accuse this guy of something he didn't do. Yeah, you should have to pay for that for life. Just like that person's going to pay for that for life had they done that to you. Ain't no degree for them. There's nothing for them.
Absolutely.
Socially, we should definitely, yeah, you're right. Excommunicated almost is what it would be.
Because they have to wear that,
Absolutely.
regardless if they're innocent or not, they're going to lose friendships. People are always going to associate them with that charge. They have to wear that for life. So why do you get to walk around like everything is okay and you done told the world that this man or woman beat you or raped you and everything's okay? Absolutely not.
Right. Absolutely. Lacey says, I'm sorry. I love the idea. A person who falsely accuses someone of something so egregious should be well documented. Absolutely. Sabrina says, only way I would want to know what they did is if they were applying for a school job or something that hurt worse. The public wouldn't be able to do anything with that info. Well, again, that's why I say it wouldn't be something that you have to report, but you'll be able to access that information for. If they make an accusation again, we already have them logged in. So, but I would never say that it's just a lie. You know what I mean? She says, say for instance, I was on a registry for lying about that issue. Say for instance, if I was on a registry lying about that issue, how would that hurt me in regards to the public? Definitely would hurt you. If someone looked that up, let's say Sabrina, they looked that up and they see your name's on there and you told a lie 4 or 5 years ago on a man, said he touched you and it was investigated and it was completely wrong. I know for men, they wouldn't want to be around you at all. They really seriously wouldn't. They treat you like you have the plague because for us, that's huge, man. It's the same as you would feel if some guy, if you heard one of your girls saying this guy had touched them in a way, it ain't actually on the record, but your radar will be going off around this person. And I think women would worry about you too. So I do think socially it would affect you. That type of lie would. She said, how am I a danger to the community if hang on. I mean, if I lied as a stupid teen doing stupid stuff, because it could be pattern. So that's why the registry is there. You've already gotten. Chatty said it's not in lieu of jail time. She's saying you still should have some type of accountability and legal punishment for that up to jail time. But it being on a registry locks you in as a pattern and a person who's done this before, and that should be why. She said, "Aha!" She gets it. Okay, good. The goal, guys, is fairness for all parties, not men or women. Not it's nothing like that. It's about protecting everyone. Okay, protecting women doesn't mean punishing men without evidence, guys, and we got to stop that. That's what's been happening. It means creating a system where both sides are heard and justice is served based on facts and not assumptions. Facts, not genders. Okay, we're protecting women. We're not enabling abuse of power, and they shouldn't look the same. Okay, so the goal, remember, is protection. The intention behind laws and the social movement was to protect women from harm, even though it happens to both parties. Okay, but it was not to enable malicious intent. The system should focus on shielding women from violence and ensuring their safety. One of the things that this would do is it would prevent a lot of manipulation. When you allow false claims to go unchecked, it undermines the goal of protection overall, and it creates a culture of mistrust. If you guys think about this, every day somebody's going live to say something about somebody else. And if you notice, the more often this happens, the less power it has. And now we're all skeptical. And so this person who's taking to social media, who could be very much telling the truth, we're now side-eyeing them, and we're now critiquing their storylines, and we're challenging it while they're saying, but this is my truth. We're now saying, forget your truth. We want to know if it makes sense, because we've seen this happen too many times, and we have sons, we have husbands, we have fathers, we have brothers. We're not going to keep on letting y'all come out here on this ratchet shit because you mad at somebody, weaponizing this internet in our hearts and our minds. It's wrong. And most people in this world are not mentally mature enough to handle this. When my brother and his wife came out here 2 years ago, I'm sure they didn't know the amount of people in this world that were mentally ill, that would lock onto this story almost as if it was their own for years, and it would usurp most of their lives. Guys, we're not using this internet stuff responsibly at all. We bring this stuff to the public. We're giving a lot of our private information to people who cannot handle it, guys. They are going to get involved in your situation as if they are you. They shouldn't even be online watching. You shouldn't be online as a creator, and they shouldn't be on there as an audience. It's the saddest thing ever. I would have never thought telling you my business would have you so invested. Guys, that is a mental illness. And it's crazy because this is so new to us, having access to social media. Everyone has a platform that could be equal to CNN in a moment, just from going live. Depending on what you're saying, you could have a platform of 1 million people in a moment. With that type of power, it's new to us. We're just now navigating it. And I think in 5 or 10 years, we're going to see how much it really destroyed our economy, how much it destroyed our minds, how much it destroyed our communities overall. If you just go back, Chatty, I'm 42. I grew up without phones. I not phones, but a phone in your hand. These children today, they don't know what it's like to talk to somebody without seeing them. They don't know what it's like to not be able to access somebody from anywhere. You had to wait till you got home and get on the phone. You understand what I'm saying? If they called you, you had to be home for them to reach you. We live in a world where somebody can instantly hit live and talk to the world about you. The world, and have the whole world be against you, and you got to go undo that. It's up to you now. Yo, that's impossible. Yo, this shit is so scary. Back in the day, your grandma, your grandpa, the work that they did, it was guaranteed to them. If you built a skill, you can guarantee you're going to use that skill to the day you die. If you welding, you're going to go out here and that's what you're going to do. These lies, guys, they'll take something that you worked for your whole life, fuck all your shit up, and have you out here bagging groceries. Yo, y'all not thinking about how many of your sons who could have changed your family's history by going pro, their lives was literally taken from them. Not because some woman maliciously lied on them, but because they were having sex at school and it was embarrassing for the girl. And she just said she wasn't willing. if you add in what Chatty put in here so wonderfully about a registry, if you give criminal time, prison time, jail time for these type of lies, you cut that stuff out, and people got to be accountable. There is no law against this woman choosing to have sex with this college guy, but because she feels, the world is cruel because it'll make her feel like she's a whore for something that's completely normal. But she shouldn't put it off on the man to relieve herself from what would be guilt, but it's not guilt. Y'all are willing. These types of things should never be like, so I don't get called a hoe, I'm going to make you an abuser. That's not right. Nobody should be doing this to each other, guys. Before I continue, I want to be to the next layer of this. I'm going to ask Chad, do you have any thoughts so far? And I dropped the link too. I know Lacey asked me to drop the link. I'm going to drop it again for any of you guys that want to add into this. Chatty?
No, I'm good. I'm still on the same page, bro.
Okay, good. All right, so we got to balance the systems for everybody, okay? So for women, a system that investigates thoroughly ensures that genuine survivors are taken seriously and given justice. And that's what I want for women. I want them to be, any claim that they make, to be investigated thoroughly. Take them serious, guys, because they are who this happens to the majority of time. So as soon as she walks into a place, and it should be protocol, it shouldn't be online, because I don't believe everyone should get the same prison time, because I say proportionally. But if you accuse someone of outright date raping you or holding you down physically and assaulting you, I think that's directly proportional. I do think telling a lie online to a bunch of people and not the courthouse maybe should be like jail time, but not directly proportional. But when you weaponize the police and you go to them saying, this has happened to me, I think they should punish your ass with equal time, because you just weaponize their resources and everything about them. I mean, it's just crazy to me. You want them to put a man in prison for life. No, I'm putting your ass in there for life for lying on them. No, so for women, I just say a system that investigates thoroughly should be in place. So they're taken very seriously and they can get their justice. For men, I think it prevents the weaponization of laws that can unjustly destroy their lives. Because men stand to be mostly the victims of lies and assaults on their character and careers, there should be laws, federal laws, put in place to protect men from these egregious acts. Okay, our strength is being used against us. Yes, we're strong enough to rape, but that doesn't mean you get to accuse me of that because I'm physically capable of doing so. That's not fair. That's not right. That's like me using my strength to possess you because I'm stronger than you. Don't you dare use your power against me then. And I see that, I literally see that as the same. If you want me to not use my strength to overwhelm you because I'm stronger, I need you to not use your femininity to overwhelm me because I'm weaker. You're being a bully. You're lying on me. I didn't do nothing to you. And I see that in both ways. I see the weaker person that dominates the strongest guy, the strongest person with their boundaries. That is bullying. Because if they hit you back, you're going to act all crazy. So you're going to act like you're going to take advantage of them, though. That's not right. It's like a woman telling her man, what you going to do about it? You know this man is not about to hit you. And you saying that is so disrespectful and foul. You take away this man's authority. He can't lead you if you acting like that. A man whose wife says that to him knows he's powerless. There's nothing he can do to get his authority. He can't put his foot down. He can't ask for it. If he raises his voice, she'll criticize him raising his voice. He better not put his hands on it because that's not right. But if he does, she's allowed to fight him back. I believe that there should be a respect for your partner. A man should love his wife and respect her so much that he never uses strength to dominate her, even though he's stronger. And I think if a woman has a man who doesn't do that, she shouldn't marry him. Ladies, you should not marry a man who will use his strength to dominate you. That's fucking wild. Even though he's stronger, he should still request it. It shouldn't be like, hey, I'm the man. You're going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to be on that. That's crazy, yo. That's bullying. And likewise, it shouldn't be you using his strength against him as well to bully or manipulate. And so if you take a man's power away by saying, I'm not going to listen to anything you say, I'm going to be downright disrespectful, and if you put your hands on me, you're going to jail. This is the same thing as a man who's saying, I'm going to hit you in the mouth for talking back because I'm stronger than you. And you need to learn to respect people when they're bigger than you. That's the same type of misandrist comparing to misogynistic type thinking. And we're quick to call somebody a misogynist. The word misandrist isn't even used normally, to the point to where most people don't even know what that word means. It's the same. Misogynist is the general hate for women. A man who hates women, has a disdain for women. Misandrist is a woman who has a disdain for men. They often sound the same in the things that they say. So for women, for men, and then here's what punishing these lies would do for society. You would have a justice system rooted in fairness, a justice system that fosters trust, excuse me, and reduces false accusations, and that's what it should be about. I just feel like an accuser, just by definition, is any individual who initiates a claim, and I'm going to say an official claim. Going online, I wouldn't say should be directly proportional, Chatty. I believe that an accuser is someone who initiates an official claim, meaning they went to the police and reported alleging wrong conduct, misconduct, or violation against their person. So when you go to the police department and say, I want to file a claim, this person assaulted me, they held me down, they raped me, that to me, I believe, once investigated, if you went in there maliciously and did that, I see proportional time for that. I just see that way. Now, the accused, that's the accuser. The accused would be anyone who a claim was made against, a false claim was made against. Well, just any claim was made against, because they're not falsely accused yet. So an accuser is any individual who's had a claim placed against them or alleging of misconduct or wrongdoing placed on them. That would be the accuser. A false accusation is an accusation that is determined through thorough investigation to have been knowingly and willfully fabricated. Not, I thought that I was asleep, I woke up, and I feel like this man may have touched me. I wouldn't put that in the same boat. I don't think this woman is maliciously lying on you. So you would have to do a kit. And these things would have to be determined through investigation. And if you're false in that, she may not get any punishment at all, because you can understand that. Let's say the silly thing with Callie and I. Callie wouldn't get time for that because he was under mental distress, meaning he was high. So he's not saying physically you touched me. He's saying that I feel this way based on how I perceived it at that moment. Even though that could ruin my life, his accusation, legally, it doesn't fall under what I'm talking about. Do you understand? I'm talking about when someone maliciously says, I'm going to lie on this person to ruin their life, right? And that's their attempt to do that. That's specifically what I'm talking about, if that makes sense. I'm going to bring up Joe Will.
Peace.
Peace to you, Joe Will. Hey, Chad, before I bring in Joe Will, did you want to say anything to that?
The only thing I would add, I think an official claim should also be the internet, and just not the authorities, because that's local. I think if I if I go live right now and say Joe Smith of Kentucky bruised me, I think that, if anything, should be more punishable by law, because it's going to reach a wider audience. So I would say online should be viewed as an official claim, because now you are reaching millions who now have got the opportunity to see this, where it could have just been local, but now the world, people in different states, now my character is attacked in multiple cities, states, and in some cases even countries.
Wow. Listen, Chatty, I agree. Going to the police department is not publicizing it, and you're giving them an opportunity to investigate it, which means you're less likely being malicious. Going online, not taking it to the authorities, should be the heavier penalty, which could mean directly proportional. I wouldn't disagree.
Yeah.
If I'm going to fight for directly proportional, I should lobby for that, being people who go online to terrorize, not straight to the police, because at least they went straight to the police and followed protocol, right?
Correct.
I agree, Chatty. Thank you for that. And Joe Will, that was dope. I love Chatty, boy. She be kicking it. Hey, Joe Will, talk to me, brother. What you got?
What's going on, man? I just been listening. I had to step out for a little minute, so I kind of missed the last like 13 minutes. But just speaking on the topic at hand about the young students that basically made the accusations against their teacher. I think that it should be a little bit different dealing with minors, but ultimately, like when you're dealing with like an adult that comes out with a claim, and then it comes out that the claim is not true. I think that I agree with Chatty Cathy as far as, having to register, because now you have to look at the perspective. People are, you looking at it from a perspective of now, instead of you being a person that is making an accusation, and then people have the person that you're accusing is has to live with the, the lingering effects of whatever the accusation was. Now if it turns out that you were the person that was lying and they find that out, you basically have to be registered as a person who's out here and has the potentiality to lie on people. Like that can be just as detrimental as the actual thing.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't really think that we can fully gauge the truest extent of the lingering effects and what it causes later on down the line, because like you spoke to, most people don't even follow up with the stories enough to find out if a person was exonerated from the crime, or if they were, found not guilty. People will socially just deem you to be this individual, and now you have to live with that. And it's like that could come with a lot of things. Like, I know this example that I'm about to bring up is a little bit slightly different, but I want to bring up a case that happened in, I believe, the 1960s, the Emmett Till case. Um, where the white woman basically made the accusation that Emmett Till had whistled at her. And then
Yes, sir.
if you read there's an article written, a New York Times article written by I can't get the guy's name. I think it was Richard Perez. It's online so anybody can check it out. But in that article they detail how the woman, when during the court proceeding, she ended up, before the jury was present, she ended up going as far as to claim that he had physical contact with her, and he was like kind of like, doing a little bit extra. It wasn't just like verbal words that were spoken. And so if she was willing to do that in a courtroom, imagine what she did or what she told the people that was her family that ended up doing, what they did to Emmett Till. And we see the effects that had, on the world, period. They went as far as to mutilate, torture, brutalize a boy over this type of stuff during a time where racial tensions was super high. So imagine the people that are innocent. You know what I'm saying? That cop out to a plea because it's like they feel like they may not win. You know what I'm saying? They feel like, well, if I blow trial, I might as well just cop out to the 5 years or the 10 years or whatever it is that they're facing, because they don't want to live sit in jail or whatever the case may be after the fact. But I just feel like if people were to be deemed as basically, if I make an accusation against somebody that, let's call it raping. If I On the flip side, if it turns out that I'm lying and now I'm held under those same charges, it would make me think like, maybe I shouldn't be out here lying, because
Damn
now
right.
now I'm the one that's being looked at like that. So I think that would be a deterrent for to stop people from doing making lies and stuff like that. And it has to be some type of filtering process to where we keep people from doing this. I agree with Chatty. I think that would stop people from doing it. I agree with you. If they were to be held liable for the same repercussions of the claim that they're claiming, I think that would definitely deter people.
Indeed. And because of the potentials too, let's say you make this accusation, this girl could have a brother, a father, uncle who could come unalive you simply because of the accusation. There's so many men out here who, and women alike, who take this so seriously that if they just see you and know what you did, they'll harm you for it. And so this is one of the reasons I push for proportional punishment, because um, of what can happen. But let's just say you don't do that. Let's just say we only can go off the accusation alone and not the potentials. Let's say a woman or anybody makes a false accusation and this person is harmed physically. That should also be on the accuser as well. I mean, of
Facts.
course, the person who harmed him, you became a vigilante, you should get the fullest extent of the law for what you did. But who put you up to that, who weaponized you, that should be added to their sentence as well, even with the accusation. And so if you're not going to just say, let's just hit them with the hit them with the book, because of what all it can do, it should be, once this accusation is made, anything that happens to that person under that false accusation, is you're going to have some accountability in that also, because you're the one who lit that match. You see
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
I agree. I don't really think people pay attention to how devastating these claims can be. I don't know if people just do this to clout chase or to get people to weaponize the system against people. But I think that if you were to put yourself in the shoes of the individual of the accused, and when something is being placed on you that you know you didn't do, I think it'll make you look at it a little bit different, and it'll make you think twice about opening your mouth and spreading lies, because these lies, like, I feel like it's like a silent killer, to a certain extent. It's like people spread these lies, and these even though the truth comes out, it's like the lie has been built up so largely that the shadow of the lie is still, it still surmounts, and it overshadows the truth sometimes. And so I feel like it should be harsh. It should be a harsh punishment for the people that come out and do stuff like that, like seriously.
Absolutely. And I want to respond to this comment. It says, why are you not talking about people who really done it? Because there's a time for everything. We have focused on creating laws to protect people from being sexually assaulted. We have created laws to protect those from being violated domestically. And so we have to consider making laws that protect the falsely accused, people who are weaponizing the laws that was made to protect them to destroy another person's life. And so that has to be a conversation. Having this conversation does not undermine the importance of the women who this really happens to. It's absolutely egregious when this really happens, but we have to deal with the other side of this, when it's saying that it's happening and it isn't happening. And the false accuser is, again, disrespecting the women and victims, true victims of this actual crime when they do it. So it has to be a conversation. Taking one of the worst things that can happen to a person and weaponizing that as your story to destroy another person is evil. It's an evil act. We've witnessed, even during this saga of the True Saga, several women who have testified to this happening to them when they were young, and how this still has a toll on them. It's something that they never get to truly be free from. And so you can see exactly why there's a crime against it and why it's punished so harshly. In other countries, guys, they haven't even gotten this far. So, but we're all still evolving. And so we've done good to create laws to protect people from sexual assault and domestic violence, but we have to take another step forward now and protect people from the false allegations of such. It does ruin lives. It does create the same type of mental trauma and distress. And so this is something that you're victimizing this person with. A false accusation is victimizing the person who's innocent. It is. And like, again, people have taken their lives for the false accusation, just like they've taken their lives for being abused. Okay. People have taken their lives for how people see them after the fact. Being that they know they were innocent and they could not, escape what people thought of them. It's a horrible thing, guys. And so, yeah, there should definitely be punishment. I'll come off of being directly proportional. And I'll go with Chatty. If there should 100% be a registry, no matter what. No matter what the jail time is, you're going on the registry.
The lie list.
Right, absolutely. And the most heinous time, the most time you're going to get is based on you going public and not doing it, not following protocol, because that is the equivalent to putting a hit on somebody. To go public and say this person raped you, you know what you're doing. You know it's not true what you're saying. You know what you're doing. And so absolutely, that should be the most time that you'll get. And then if you go about it the correct way and follow protocol, and it's determined that you were maliciously lying, you should still get some prison time for that. Even if it's not directly proportional. You may have didn't put the man through all the things you put him through society-wise. You didn't make it a public thing. You went straight to the courthouse. The fact is, if it hits the news and all that stuff, it should still be treated about the same. But someone getting up and using a phone to destroy your life like that, I believe that should be completely taken seriously. So, and that goes with domestic violence, sexual assault, any of those types of things. So I was literally thinking the other way around, but when Chatty expressed how much more damage you're doing by using this device, even though you didn't go to the courthouse, I cannot argue with that. That should be the heavier crime. You know what you're doing, So let's deal with this. Investigation protocol. Upon receiving an accusation, law enforcement and relevant authorities should conduct a thorough, impartial, and evidence-based investigation into the claims made by the accuser. That's the number one thing. Also, protect the privacy and rights and dignity of both the accuser and the accused until it's determined. So It shouldn't be a news thing if he's not guilty yet, because we understand how horribly this can ruin somebody's life. You understand? So if someone goes and files the correct way to the police department, you of course Polite was guilty, but imagine Polite was innocent, and this is news now before it's even investigated. How wrong would that have been, guys? And you've seen this happen so many times. This person's already put throughout the media, and then he's innocent, and he still don't get his life back because you done went and told everybody. And I think we should owe him something. Not we, us personally, but the news people and all this who put this out on this person should owe this person something if they were innocent. Somebody asked, what about protecting the name of the accuser? To a certain extent, yes. I don't think any accuser, any real victim should have their name put out there. So an accuser should have the same rights as a real victim pending the investigation. However, once the investigation is conducted and you were maliciously lying, your name is going out there. You're no longer Jane Doe, bro. That's crazy as hell. And I'm sure Joe Will and Chatty, you guys can agree with this.
Yeah.
A person who makes an accusation, their name should be protected. But if it determines that they were lying, why are we protecting your name now? That's crazy. Both parties' names should be protected. That'd be crazy to go, this just in, a woman said that Joe Will molested her. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
That's crazy work.
Yeah, I don't like I agree with you, man. It definitely should be a protocol to investigate before you publicize this stuff, because like the media alone has been used to, destroy a lot of people's lives in the past, and it still does. They still do it today. So if something of that egregious is being accused on somebody or placed on somebody, before the news and the media outlets publicize it and try to use it as popularity and clickbait, and just to have a story running through the these platforms, I think they should do a proper investigation and before they release this information, and have people out here just because people will act on this. Like people will go out and try, oh, you did such and such to what, and
Right.
now you have to deal with the effects of that. So most definitely, man.
And not to mention, we're in a virtual world, Joe. You, people who won't walk up to them and try to assault them physically, that's one thing. People who will do that is one thing. But then you got the world of content creators. You got the news outlets. Then you have the content creators who's going to continue to push this information. And sometimes they're even bigger than the news outlets. So would you, Chatty, now this is a good question for you too. Do you guys believe there should be some accountability on news anchors, content creators, such and so forth, because of the influence they can have for presumption of guilt or innocence with their videos and things of that nature? Let's say a domestic case comes out, a great accusation comes out, and say you strongly believe this man did it. Should it be a problem for you to presume he did it, or should you just report the case as the case until the investigation comes out? Because we know how damaging presuming guilt can be. No, you're not the accuser. No, you're covering the story, but your belief for this accuser is helping to push their lie if it's determined a lie. And think about it. What if the world doesn't respond to him negatively off the accuser, but off your video covering it? Think about that. With this Brianna thing, she was able to make a huge impact, but what mostly impacted her story was content creators covering for her. And that made it truly difficult in even reporting on it. I think there should be some type of accountability on us as content creators for how we tell a story. Guys, I mean, as content creators, what do you guys think?
I think it should be it should be mandatory that a public retractment in some way capacity needs to be issued, to the Brianna story. I remember watching her sitting down on interviews and people, oh my goodness, how did you go through this, and just literally taking her side for that. But when you when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, was it true? But you didn't do your due diligence. You heard a woman's story, you saw a woman that was attractive, you went with it, you put this on the news station, and then when inconsistencies came out, you didn't retract a statement or say anything. It's just, let me just go back. I think that they should be held accountable in some way after it's proven, or after a conviction or overturn or whatever the case may be, just as loudly as you spoke against against the story and the
Yes,
claim,
ma'am.
you need to be just as loud. You know what I'm saying? But like, let's not let the action be. I want the apology to be just as loud as the insult or the attack. If
And it
not, you
better
can
be.
keep it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I definitely think that there should be some sort of they should be held liable in some way and need to do a public retraction of their statement, especially allowing parties to sit on their couch and not investigating. And one more thing to the brother that came up, my mic went out when you brought up Emmett Till's Chef's Kiss, because that's a prime example of how we watched a male be mutilated, publicly mutilated, and this woman's address was protected. I read so many articles on her wanting to find out where she lived, not to do anything, so let me not put that out there, but I was curious, just like most of the world is. And I read protected for her safety, protected, for her peace. This woman with her accusation still gets that peace. So that's another reason why I think the registry or something needs to be put out there, because the accusers are getting way more grace and get to live
Absolutely.
peacefully, and we all watch someone be mutilated. So great
Mm,
example, brother.
And look,
thank you.
not to mention, Chatty, it was a false accusation that was the catalyst for destroying Black Wall Street. That might be
Okay.
the most impactful false accusation of all fucking time. I think I'm gonna do a whole video on that. And oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. We got 2K in the building. Welcome
What's
in,
up with it,
Jerome.
bro?
Yeah, good to have you, man. What's your thoughts on the subject?
It's cool, cool, man. Happy to be here, and it's crazy that she was talking about the Emmett Till stuff because the woman she actually stayed in my city. She dead. She died a couple years ago though, but like we all knew her address and everything. But yeah, it's it's kind of hard. It's kind of a hard thing to do with because an accusation, right, is the claim of somebody saying something to somebody else, right? And then you got a lawyer to go in there to try to disprove or to try to find a shadow of a doubt. So that don't mean that what she said didn't happen. That just means that the attorney probably felt like some doubt to say that, okay, this is not enough to process the case. And then that's, to me, that's the slippery slope because she might accuse somebody of doing something and he could have did it, but they just didn't have enough evidence to prove. So to start like finding stuff for false accusations, it's gonna be like extremely hard, and then that could deter people from not even coming.
So think about
Coming
this.
forward.
Okay, so I look at it like this.
Okay.
All right. So the innocent is one thing. So he's innocent of it because they didn't have enough information or the lawyer did a good job, whatever the case may be. But there's another investigation to prove that it was a malicious false accusation, and that would have to be proven as well. So if it's something that's in the air where you couldn't get the conviction, I don't think that would also mean that she was malicious in falsely accusing him. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's just say you having fun with this girl, y'all drinking, y'all end up doing it, right? And she goes, I wasn't mentally there. I had a couple drinks. That's not consent because I was tipsy. And you like, yo, we was drinking together. You came over my house not drunk. You already there. We're drinking together. You was willing. You telling me I raped you? Like, what you talking about? Of course, you might get to go away from that innocent. But the fact that you put yourself in that situation, she said she was drunk. You're saying she did drink. She does have a right to say, I normally wouldn't have done it. I got too drunk. Maybe you put something in it. Maybe you didn't. And obviously, if you didn't, you were just there in the moment. It's a bad situation. Right. So you wouldn't say she's malicious in that because she was drinking with you and y'all did have that encounter. However, if she was never at your crib at all, bro, you see what I'm saying? Or y'all got text messages of her telling you she know it, that she's coming through just for that, and now she's pulling that stunt on you and you can prove that she's lying, that's a different story. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely think some people, like when it's so open and shut, I feel like we should do this. Because like we just saying a lot. And I ain't gonna speak on that on here. But we just saying a lot. And some people just like to run in the victim Olympics, bro.
Sure.
Like, and then the court of public opinion, that's where you get found guilty at first, and then they'll act like that's to be true. And then they, after they find out the stuff, they never restore your image. Like they never apologize, no nothing.
And that's what we're saying. That's what Chatty was just saying. That should be a prerequisite. When you get found that you are lying, you should have to. That's part of your sentencing, is that you have to come out and straighten out what you did. Even then, you're probably not going to get that person their reputation back, but it shows that you're a liar. There's probably nothing we can do to get that falsely accused their reputation back. But I do think there should be a protocol to that. Even 2K, if somebody get online lying on you, right? Typically, the person who got lied on has to now go spend money, defamation, and stuff like that. But I believe if the lie is so egregious and it's a lie that would be a crime like rape or domestic violence, I believe the accused should be able to go to the police department and file charges of false accusation and create the investigation on their own. Because let's just say a person comes out and says, this person beat on me. Well, if they don't go to the courthouse themselves, it's not a case. But I think that you should be able to go to the courthouse yourself because they're falsely accusing you of something online. And you're forcing the police department now to investigate this and make it stop and punish this person. But it has to be a law before you can even do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you because I have seen a lot of people go down for false accusations. But that's why when I have people on, I like to get both sides of the stories. And I'm sorry, I don't know the woman name who on the panel with us. Yeah, Candy Cane, she was talking about.
Did you just say Candy Cane?
That's what I thought I heard him say.
Chatty Cathy.
Okay, see what we not gonna do?
You got selective hearing like a mother.
I said, well, who the fuck is Candy Cane? Oh, sorry,
Candy Cane, my fault. So
Honey's here.
So when she came on, was like, you should vet people before they come on the show. Y'all don't really know how hard that is. Like I have got a lot of flack for that before. That's I ain't gonna say near impossible, but it ain't like, let's say you go talk to this person and you ask who they is. It ain't like they just gonna tell you the truth. I have to go talk to the other person, and maybe the other person don't want to talk to me. So that's why I say I'm letting them tell their story versus because when you say anything else, they want you to know everything about them from the minute they were born.
Absolutely.
And it's a tough job. It's a tough job.
But see, 2K, that's my point. I've done interviews too, and I remember prefacing one by telling a party, you know what you're saying is very serious, right? Are you standing on that? But then in return, I think the problem is with the media is if you're simply getting an interview from someone to get the story, that's fine. That's your job. That's what you're doing. But the moment you then turn and now you're presenting their accusation as fact, I think that's where you need to be held accountable.
Okay,
that's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So somebody can come on our panels and lie to us all day long, but the moment they're off our panel and we're now accusing that party of what they said,
absolutely,
then you just stepped in a pile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you when you're right now. That's 100%.
Yeah, I don't think there should be any accountability for giving a person a platform to share their story. None at all. But I think that if you're presuming that this person is telling you the truth, you are in fact helping ruin this other person's reputation. And of course, your listeners are more prone to believing what the content creator over them is saying. So I think it should be like given like a news reporter. You wouldn't want the news presuming that you were guilty, man. Come on now, that's crazy. That's crazy as hell.
That's what they do though.
There's a book called 100 Years of Lynchings where there's over like 100 years of articles that were publicized by racist news outlets that would intentionally publish false narratives and stories to incite racial tension and cause people to groups of white supremacists to go out in the hundreds of thousands to go lynch black people. They would intentionally create lies that they knew would stir up emotion, and they would go out and cause these do these things. So I think that today is the same thing. People basically make these lies up, and news anchors sometimes they'll present it as a leading, like they'll kind of lean towards one side of the story. They don't even do it unbiasedly. It's like they're always picking a side. So I think they have a due diligence to report it unbiasedly. Yeah,
like that's why I don't like politics. Like especially like when it comes like to CNN and Fox, because when I come here, I already know which way they leaning, and I think that's sloppy. So that's why when I get the story, I want to hear both sides, and I can make a decision on that. I just don't want to do this because I'm a man. Just don't want to do this because I like women. I want to get down to the truth. And a lot of people, like, I ain't gonna say her name, but she just catered to women on her platform. So it's women is always right, women is always the victim. And so like that's her audience. It's like the Lifetime network of YouTube. So I don't do that. If the dude wrong, I'm gonna say he wrong. If the woman wrong, I'm gonna say she wrong. But they don't. Everybody don't have that same integrity when they come to this.
You're absolutely right. 2K, one of the things you said when you first came up here, I thought was powerful. You spoke about how what if there's just some reason that the guy got off and it still could have been there. They just didn't have enough evidence.
Right.
I would say any ambiguity whatsoever or uncertainty in the evidence should result in no punitive action on either party. But I do believe that there's some work that should be done on society's part to maintain the falsely accused reputation and the accusers. Because once you're going, let's say you get found innocent, and say it's over something like what you said, where it could have still been the case. Can you see how still even more so his reputation is probably still going to be ruined because of how he got off of that?
Yeah.
So what if like you could? I mean, it's probably crazy to go this far, but if he has a job, you can't fire him. You can't fire him for that because he was innocent. And you can make these people overturn it because a lot of times you lose your job and your career. If you got your own company, there's nothing you can do because you can never make from this person again. You see what I'm saying? But if he has a job and employment, you could probably make the employer keep him on. But this is why false accusations need to be dealt with, because it creates so much damage that's unrepairable.
And see, that's why like the whole council, like that's why the freedom of speech, that's why that was so detrimental. Because the minute when people, because I done had this happen to me a bunch of times where people will call my employer and tell these people, hey, he did this, hey, he did that, hey, he did this, and force them to make a decision. So I have been directly impacted by it, and that was never right, because a group of, you can find a group of anything that dislikes something, and just because a bunch of people calling you don't mean that that's right or wrong.
True.
So that's why I'm kind of happy not to get political, Trump back in office, because it's real freedom of speech. But now, because you can see everything shifting, like Facebook for the lift all day, they strict rules. They didn't got all our pages banned before. You got X that already went back to it. Instagram, same thing. So like we finna get real freedom of speech back, and I'm elated about that.
Yeah, I want freedom of speech. However, because we know there's power in what we say, there should be accountability to what we're saying. So freedom of speech shouldn't also mean I get to accuse people of stuff they didn't do. And I think I think that should be violation of your freedom of speech. Like, just because you can say it don't mean it's legal. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
That's just like how they talk about if you were to say out loud you were going to harm the president. It's a wrap, yo. So I mean, freedom of speech is one thing. Threats, destroying somebody's life with lies, this is a whole nother. You see what like we have free will to go where we please, but not free will to hit people. You see what I'm saying? So
well, you do got free will to hit people, but it's a consequence that come behind it.
That's what I mean, right?
Exactly. So just like with the freedom of speech, if you out here sparing malicious lies, there's a consequence to come behind this freedom of speech. Then you got to pay for it. It ain't so free after that.
And I think it should be outside of defamation. I think some things should have to be pursued based on defamation, but some things should be criminal, bro. Because what's happening is you make it where the poor can't defend themselves, and that's sad. If you tell a lie on me, if I got to go broke to protect myself, I'm probably not going to sue you because you ain't got shit, or you don't even have shit, and I do have money, and now I'm powerless because you ain't even got shit. You're powerful because you got nothing to lose. Nah, you just need to get your ass to jail, bro. I'm not dealing with that. Like, that's crazy. You can't be that unfair that if you're poor, you can't even afford to sue the person. If you got money and they don't, it's no point to sue the person. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Yep. You ain't lying, cuz.
You should be able to go to the police and say this person's breaking the law, and that law is lying on people, bro. Like literal, like lying on people about crime type shit. Like you should be able to go to call the police and say this person's lying on me. They go investigate that shit, just like a rape charge, just like any of these other laws. You can just go report. It shouldn't be civil. That's what makes this so complicated, and that's what gives the liar so much power.
It definitely needs to be harsher punishments. I think people mask their spewed ideas behind freedom of speech. Turkey. I'm sorry, 2K. If I want to say
That's
turkey,
funny.
Yeah, she definitely got back.
She did, yo, clever too.
You know what I'm saying? If I want to say, turkey think he cute, or, Kevin's beard, whatever, I don't know, that's fine. But the
Mhm.
moment I then accuse you of, I don't know, something egregious, or being inappropriate with a minor, or something to that, oh, that needs to be a mandatory crime, because like we can't just go putting that out there and masking it with freedom of speech, because that's defamatory, and
Right.
that
Absolutely.
can alter a man's platform, their well-being, their safety. Because let's start there are people that aren't privy to certain charges where you can get hurt out here, all because someone is trying to mask their BS behind freedom of speech. I'm okay with insults, or he thinks he's cute, he's that, but the moment you now put a crime on someone and then want to say freedom of speech, you're gonna have to prove that. And if not, you're gonna have to pay in some way. It might not even have to be monetary. Maybe you just need to not be on the air for 6 months,
Mhm.
because now we live in this era where
Uh-uh.
everybody can hit the live button.
I
You
ain't
know what
with
I'm
that,
saying?
girl.
I
No, no.
am.
Hey,
I
you
am.
just you just
I
spoke on
feel
something with that.
no, I
No,
absolutely,
no,
if
Trust me,
I
they're gonna
come
do
on
that.
my platform, if I come on my platform and says 2K choked me and you didn't, oh, I should be silenced for 6 months.
Yeah.
this
100%.
Your social behavior should have an impact on where you go in your life as far as your
absolutely
job and
not.
everything.
We got to
Yeah.
disagree right here. We got to disagree. Because see, now we getting right back into that censorship bag. All right. Because
But why would you want to? That's a
I
crime. I'm accusing you of a
there
crime that
is
you
a
didn't
crime.
commit.
There is a crime, but freedom be speech is free. All right. And now if you say the wrong thing, I'm all for probably you going to jail or something. But to take your words away from you, I'm not I never ever and never will support censorship.
No, look,
So
bro.
I'm not talking about an insult. So you would be okay if I sat on my platform and said that you choked me and you didn't do it.
No, I wouldn't be.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying
Now,
when it comes to.
once she's proven to be a liar, 2K, now the
No,
government is saying she needs to be off social media for say a couple years, and all these things that go with it. You don't think social media should be a part of that?
no, social media won't help. That's all she do is can't she just can't say it on social media. She won't that won't stop her from saying it though.
Well, you've already hit her with it. Well, you've already made it illegal. So say you've already punished her with the crime. You've
Yeah.
already put her on the registry. We talked about a registry for liars of these type of acts or whatever too. And also, you're going to add to that you're off social media because that's where you told the lie at. That's where you did that at. The same way
No,
you take a predator offline because they have access to children and people like that. So a
no,
liar has access to the world. So I can definitely see why you say and you're suspended for some time from access to social media and people in that way because you weaponized it. With
that's
things like that in place, yeah, they could create another account, but if you're caught using another account, that time is double, your prison time is double, or say if you're out, you can't get online. If you found to be online and you didn't listen, maybe now you got to go to jail.
I
But I
think
do think that that should
it's
be
like
should
it's
be
like a
done.
tether or probation kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not to demean or to obliterate their freedom of speech, but once you have been found to be a liar and you intentionally lied and said somebody did a crime against you that they did not do, I am 100% in agreement with that social media, or you can't even get on here for a certain amount of time. Like, I'm not saying forever, but definitely, like, you can't get on here and try to spin a narrative, and because people will link up with pages and that have a larger platform and a larger audience, and to help spew this type of stuff. So anybody that has been deemed to be a criminal or to bring a lie against somebody criminally, I think that that should be held. That should be something that should be done, man.
Right, because they
Honestly.
still are free to speak. They still can still talk just like anybody else. If they're still assaulted, they can still go to the police. They still have their rights. But you just it's kind of like someone is a drunk driver. You take their license for some time because it protects everyone on the road. They don't need to be on the road. Yes, they can drive, but they were drunk driving. So because they were irresponsible, you take that privilege away from them for some time. That's how I would see that.
Yeah, I like what y'all saying, but I just know that's right back to censorship, and it's gonna become a slippery slope. I feel like when the time is allotted for the crime, let's say she got 6 months in jail, that's where the crime stop. All right, now even with sexual offenders, just because they went to jail for sexual offenders, they don't come out with like they don't have rights again. They got certain stipulations, but they still had their rights. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about censorship of no kind because
Well, I mean, if they can get online still, and the penalty's still there if they were to lie again, I mean, you
yeah,
don't
well you
technically
go
have
back
to keep
to
them
yeah
offline
you
because you can just punish them again if they do it. You know what I mean? I can definitely see the point of the majority on the panel that there should be a ban against you being online, but I can also see what you're saying that could lead to a slippery slope. So if let's just say we went with what 2K is saying, okay, we're not going to take you offline, but if you say these things again, we treat them as if they're another offense, not some type of added thing, because essentially you're doing this crime again.
yeah. So you go back to
It's
jail.
like you went and grape the same person you graped again. That's what you just went and did. So
Yeah.
same penalty again then.
Well, if it's the second time, we're gonna intensify that penalty. But yeah, I don't know about the censorship, bro. It's just I don't know because that's real slippery. So I feel like that's how we got to this point where we at right now.
I'm telling you, 2K, it'll get to that point because right now we're still navigating having access to online and social medias. This is completely new to what anybody before us ever experienced. It's literally our generation is doing this first. So I'm telling you, in the years to come, because we've been so socially irresponsible with this shit, people have committed suicide due to what's been said to them online. Our words are going to be taken more seriously. And if you go back in time, they were. If
See,
you guys hear about
I
witches and
give
stuff,
I
I'm
give you
gonna make this
pushback
last
on
point,
that.
TK. My bad. Just this
Nah,
last point. All right, so
okay.
you go back in the day to where you hear about witches being burned at the stake, right? You
Yeah.
say, okay, why did she get burned? Because she was having sex with someone that wasn't her husband. Why did she get burned? Because she lied and told another man that the baby was his. Because back then, a lie was seen as murder. It was detrimental. You're changing the course of people's lives. When you said that child was that man's and it wasn't, you robbed his whole family. You robbed his whole legacy. So they would burn your ass because you got to think men ran the world back then. They were trying to protect themselves. And so they don't want their kids being lied on to them. They want to raise their own kids. So of course they made these laws so egregious that you wouldn't break them. You would not cheat on your husband. You would not have sex premaritally. You would not lie on your baby, and you would not tell lies on people. The moment you can tell a lie and say that man slept with me and he didn't, or that woman slept with me and she didn't, and you're having her stoned or burned at the stake, what should happen to you for telling that lie on her? You're equally going to be stoned, and you might say, "Well, I just lied." But what was the result of your lie? A lie ain't just a lie; it's a spell. If you say something about a person that changes the course of their life, there should be a penalty for that. We just call that a lie. It's not just a lie. It was called witchcraft back in the day. What was you going to say, 2K?
I'm torn because I understand the logic that y'all saying. I really do. But
So
I'm sorry, you got it.
no, go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
So both of you are married men. As a woman, I shouldn't be able to come online and say with conviction that I slept with either one of you,
Right,
and that be okay without repercussion.
right.
I feel like it's
So
certain.
I feel like that censorship in certain cases, it needs to be some crime because you shouldn't just be able to say something so vile, so false without any justifications for it. That can cause um stress, distress, but any sort of agony or that can be proven to a party by your words. That's a different story. Now, if I just want to insult you one story. But to come out with something false that can affect your livelihood, your household, your reputation, it needs to be some accountability for that.
But see, okay, I'd have had that actually to happen to me. All right, well, I had a woman who from my past, she said that we had sexual relations with each other. And we didn't. Now, I wouldn't really lock nobody up for that because the only person who it would make uncomfortable is my wife. And on top of that, so now it's about my wife. Do she trust me or think that I did it or not?
Well, she did allege a crime. Well, she did
But
though.
see, but that's not
She
really
did. Hang on, let's just say she said you slept with her, right?
okay.
If your wife divorces you, takes half of your shit, you see what I'm saying? That lie, she said it was consensual, so that's not the crime. The crime though is you cheated on your wife now, and now she can use that as leverage to divorce you. So, yeah, that would be crazy. What if your wife's behind it? I want this woman to come out and say you slept with my man. I'm at like I believe it. I'm gonna leave and take half his shit. Yeah, hell yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. You're talking about protecting people's lives, assets, and everything. And if a lie can be used to destroy that, you have to treat that lie now as a crime, and the crime has to be punished, making the liar accountable to telling their lie. And if we just look at stuff like lies, these liars will be able to ruin people's lives the same way that actual criminals do, and just get away with it and call it just lying. That's nasty work. You have to police that in some way.
I'm with y'all when y'all want to punish the liars. I'm with it 100%. I just don't think that taking away the First Amendment would be the best thing. Although I do see y'all points in wanting to do so.
And I think we're having two different conversations.
What do you think of criminals who get ankle bracelets or probation? They're out, but they still have some restraints. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of what we're proposing.
Or with me, I want to be clear because it's two different conversations. When it comes to the charge of false accusation of rape or assault, I'm talking jail time. But I felt like we got on the conversation of social media. I think with certain instances with social media, they should be banned from social media, but not necessarily jailed, for certain statements, to the statement of the woman that said that she slept with you and that was false. I think that she should not be able, if she had a platform, the platform that she hosts on the most, she would be banned for 90 days, et cetera, et cetera. I think it should be some punishment online if you have a platform for those situations. But to the topic with rape and assault, my stance was jail time and something else. But I felt like we got on the topic of social media as well, which I think is a different punishment within itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Someone that even said this seems like a debate. I think a healthy one though. I love a clash of opinions when the opinions are well stated and have logic behind them. It doesn't matter, guys, if we disagree. And the fact is, the disagreements are bringing more dialogue. It's better that someone can offer that, even if it's just to play devil's advocate for the sake of doing it. So, I actually would prefer to set my shows up like that. I want someone to disagree.
So, Kevin, I see TA right here. She said a weak person could delete their self. Okay. So now this word kind of become crazy because now I become responsible for the lack of another person. Let's just say that person didn't have the endurance or the tolerance to take a lie, and then they go do something like that. I don't feel like I should be responsible for.
That's crazy, 2K.
That's crazy.
Listen,
like
there is a level of
playing devil's advocate
to this now.
Okay, so listen. So time out, Kevin. All right, after the girl lied on me and said that we had relations, let's just say everybody was mad at me, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go out for myself. Do you think that's really like that girl fault?
Okay, so I'll say it like this, and first I responded and said that's crazy, and I want to apologize. That's an ad hominem. You shouldn't respond. Just as far as just the debate etiquette. You shouldn't say that someone's opinion sounds crazy without just speaking to the opinion. So that's actually inappropriate. I'm intellectual, so I know I cheated right there. I cheated myself by saying that's crazy, because a person who's really listening wouldn't get anything from that other than I think it's crazy. So here's what I'm saying is, okay, the statement is a weak person would unalive themselves. I don't want to do a create a straw man, but I don't think that's a weak person. I get the sentiment though. A weak person could unalive themselves, but let's just say it is a weak person. All right, for sake of argument, you don't know who these people are. You're lying on them, and so when you go out here lying, a consequence to you telling lies is some of them could be what you would call weak people, and they may not be able to handle what you're dishing out. So yeah, there's a level of accountability to that. It's like the bully on the yard. Okay, everybody's not big like him, so he goes around hitting everybody. Okay, to him, hey, I'm just hitting them, but yeah, these people are a lot smaller than you. And so if someone, and so you say, well, just because you're smaller and weaker don't mean that I hit you hard. You just hurt more because you're weaker. Yeah, but you hit them. And so if I lied on a person and they went unalive themselves, I did contribute to that. That is my fault. I didn't murder them, so I shouldn't be convicted of murder. But I should be in jail because I bullied this person to the point that they unalive themselves. And I think and that's what online takes away from people is that they say the same thing that can hurt you if I was in front of you, I can do online, and it's okay because you're online. And this takes away my accountability. But all the consequences are still there for the person that I'm insulting or lying on.
So now this one to get crazy, right? When you start when it start becoming subjective. Because what if I say, man, but Kevin stank yesterday. All right. And so I say that. And to me, Kevin did stink, but everybody else think Kevin smelled good. So now Kevin go off himself about my opinion. That was a lie to him, but it was the truth to me.
So
I think it's levels, bro. Like,
yes,
it's
I'm talking
levels
about
to it.
accusations and things that I do. You're right. You're right about that.
See, I'm just playing the devil's advocate of how a lawyer will approach something like this.
But there has been cases recently. There was one really popular with the young lady who basically I think it was her boyfriend that unalived himself, Caucasian young lady. And she basically kind of was just like, yeah, do it. You know what I'm saying? It was like there was no sympathy or anything. She was charged, you know. Granted, this is his decision, but she was charged with contributing. And I think she actually served time. This was like a really national news. And we're seeing more of that in schools with
I
bullying.
don't like that.
But see, why not though? So if you tell me I'm gonna do this and I do nothing but say do it, I definitely think that I'm responsible for your demise in some way. I didn't report it to authorities. I didn't report it to your family, your friends. I simply told you to do it, and you think that someone shouldn't be held liable or responsible in any way for that.
But let's say, okay, our mama would tell us to be home before the street lights came on, but we didn't, and like we didn't get reported for that. Like I just don't think like because I told you to do something, you were stupid enough to do it, I should be charged. Unless like I'm like a direct like subordinate over you.
Well, see, we know the mental trauma, verbal abuse, inciting, instigating, and things like that can take on a person. So a request is far different. Make sure you home by a certain time. This isn't going to break down your well-being, your mental faculty, all that type of stuff. But if someone's like standing on the edge, you know they're going through it, and you're like, don't nobody care about you, do it anyway. Yeah, what you're doing is, that's a whole different thing of rather than saying be home by a certain time. You know, the fact is our words have power, and so if we don't consider that, and we just go around saying whatever we want to people, but I think we're kind of getting off. I'm more so talking about heinous accusations rather than insults.
But Kevin, that's the problem. The problem is they walked on the edge of the ledge. Mm-hmm. So don't tell me if you got all the way up there by yourself, my words is the reason you jumped.
It's from that, bro. I get the the analogy of like kicking a horse when it's down.
Though that's the thing. They could be the reason that they come down as well, and we have to take accountability for the words we use.
So, what was the lifelong reasons why you climbed up? So, do we go do the trauma start back at kindergarten when
Well, no. Let's just say you see them on a ledge, right? Yeah. The bigger question is, why would you tell a person on the ledge to jump? Okay, so we know something led them there, right? We know that they are mentally distressed. Why are you not saying get down? Why are you saying jump?
Okay, So when I tell them to get down and they don't, then what?
If you say you should get down, your life more important to that, and they jump anyway, then obviously you didn't contribute to that. But if you're saying,
I feel like you should be charged right there.
If you told them to get down and they don't,
yeah,
stop it. Why?
Ain't no, I'm not doing this.
I want to hear. I want to hear what the hell he's saying.
Ain't no way. I'm
curious. Why?
You got to be charged for not being a charismatic speaker enough to get the person out their ledge.
You know what? I was with you for a little bit, turnkey, but listen.
Hold on, you can't tell me my words are powerful to make a person jump, and then my words aren't powerful to make a person get down.
If you already see a person on the edge, it's like if you are speaking and trying to influence them to jump off when you see they're already headed in that direction, then you become a contributor to their destruction. If you are trying to get them to go the opposite direction and they choose to go over, you didn't aid and abet in their decision making to help them destroy themselves. So it's like your advice, if it's going in the opposite direction to speak life, versus your advice going in the other direction to speak death and destruction is completely different.
Exactly. So to you, turntable. So if someone if someone is on the ledge, I just want to make sure. So if you're saying if someone is on the ledge and you say jump, that ain't your fault. Am I clear?
No, it ain't.
Okay. And if someone is on the ledge and you say don't jump, that's your fault.
If I say don't jump, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so look at it like this right here. Because y'all don't know, y'all do this a lot. Y'all, we like to walk past trouble. And what I mean by that is let's say we in the neighborhood, right? And we see a little boy smoking weed. The majority of the people walk past the person smoking weed, even though you know he a child. He a teenager.
Oh shit.
A lot of people do it. So because you didn't say nothing and the police catch him with the blunt and seeing you walking past them, should you be charged for not stopping him? You see how crazy it can be?
No, that's that. See, 2K.
No, it's the same thing. If I walk past the ledge and I seen dude for the jump and I ain't say nothing, I'll charge him too.
No, if you didn't say nothing, 2K.
Hey, come on,
the Fifth Amendment. You got the right to remain. You don't got to answer. You don't got to say nothing. But if you go out your way,
you can't charge me for not saying nothing and then charge me for saying something.
If you're out there in a crowd of people, man, and it's one person talking, you don't need to be yelling over everybody. You can't hear all y'all at one time.
No, look. Okay, so look, I got an example. Imagine there's a group of people, and then there's a group of people bullying and talking about one person. You could be a bystander that's witnessing that and don't say anything. Now, you have that right. You don't have to speak on that. Right. But the moment that you choose to use your voice to add insult to injury and join in and speak against that person, now you are becoming a contributor to the destruction.
I'm not, though.
In a court of law, you would be, because guess what? If your friend tells you that they're about to go commit a crime and they go commit said crime, and you are aware of that, then please know that you're going down with your friend too.
You not though.
Oh, really? So if I tell you I'm going to go unalive somebody and I do it, and it's found out that you were privy to this information, you're not getting in trouble.
I'm really not.
Listen, premeditated.
Okay.
So my mama, when I played flag football, my mama, every time I got out the car, she say, "Son, go break a leg." Okay, I actually did break somebody's leg.
That's a euphemism, bro. It's a euphemism. It's not literal.
Man,
if somebody tell you to jump, I'm looking at it like a euphemism because, like, nigga, why would you do that? If you wanted to jump, you would have been jumping. I just don't have. I'm just straight up and down, bro.
If you're on a ledge and somebody say jump, it's a euphemism. A euphemism for what?
For jump, because why you ain't jump? Why you waiting on my goal? You need a countdown? 3, 2,
Ain't no euphemism gonna be the same thing as the thing it means, 2K.
But it's not a crime though. Even if I did,
no, you're right. You're right. A person's responsible for their own decisions.
There you go.
I don't know. I think if I was to say, man, I'm about to go handle business on this dude down the block who did something to me. If I tell 2K that that's my homie, he'd be like, yeah, you should. He probably don't go to jail for that. That's crazy because, you know, him telling me to do that or encouraging that isn't the actual crime. But
we do it all the time.
I do think that we kind of got crazy here. talking people off ledges and stuff. I'm gonna ask y'all this, okay? Just
ain't no we. That it ain't no we. That's nobody but tabletop.
Well, we all joined in and followed them up though. So. All right, so check this out. Say the accuser doesn't go online. Say they don't go to the police. Say they go behind your back to their closest friends, and the rumor spreads in the most detrimental way. Silently, you don't know about it until you all of a sudden hear about it. Do you believe you should be able to go to the police and say, hey, I believe this person's accusing me of a heinous act, and I need y'all to get to the bottom of it and file a charge like that? Because that's not something you can handle on your own.
I'll play devil advocate again.
All right.
Where would I do believe that you should be able to, Kevin. But where would the resources come from? Like, it's like every person would need their own individual investigator at that point. And I can see why, like, making that a law will be more troublesome than good.
How so?
Because, like, if somebody lying on everybody every day, like, you wouldn't have enough police officers. You wouldn't have enough detectives. You wouldn't have to get a court date. It'll be 10 years out.
So let's say you go all the way back to when, you know, grape was, of course, happening way more often than it is now. It was like a way of life. It wasn't even a word at one point. All right. I think that when you talk about something that's harming our community, to the point of where it is with false accusations, we just talked about before you came up, all the college kids who had potential futures, whose life was stripped from them just because of an accusation. Even if they didn't go to jail, it was said out loud, hurt their draft. Nobody, and the money's lost. I mean, all this, right? When you see something like that, in such large part not be reprimanded at all, I think that we all, as a people, would make sure that happened. Of course, we'd have to take care of that because our tax dollars take care of the police as it is. But we realize there's an imbalance in our community, so it's worth it. You know, when the government want to pay for something, they do, and it would definitely be more work on the police department. But maybe you get a department just for that. The same way as if somebody's raped, they can go straight to the police and don't have to worry about how much manpower they have. If it's an accusation that's that egregious to where it can ruin the accuser's life to that degree, they should be able to go straight to the police department, I believe, and file a charge, because of the detriment that it does to our community. And we'll have to do this until we can bring balance. The liars are getting out of hand, and the power in their lie is absolutely unreal, bro. Like, even if you don't go to jail, it can ruin your life. And think about yourself. You said people have lied on you. Imagine someone did lie on you. All the work you've put into your platform, all these things is now stripped from you because they believe that lie. What do you think the person who destroyed everything you've worked for deserves? Your children don't have a father anymore who can provide. Your wife doesn't, and all that happened because somebody chose to ruin your life, and they get to play God now. You don't think that they should be able to be punished by being put in prison for that?
Yeah, I do. Like, when it's something like to that extreme and that elaborate and that well thought out to the point that it's literally to be malicious and to ruin your life. Absolutely.
Yes, so and that's the thing. I don't know if you heard about it, but these two girls tried to allege that this teacher had sexually assaulted them. They created fake pages, messages, and all. And after of course investigation, it was determined that they lied and did all of that. And that's what prompted this conversation. It got me wanting to talk about, you know, these false accusations that's been happening. I know you probably wouldn't hear from the beginning, but I'm just going to play this clip for you so you can see kind of where the thought is coming from here.
Hey y'all, some just a little gems with jewels. Y'all heard about them two girls that falsely accused their teacher of engaging with them inappropriately, and come to find out they was lying on them? Let me tell y'all something. There needs to be a law, like a federal law, all 50 states, to where if a woman gets caught falsely accusing a guy of inappropriate engagement, she should serve jail time. And if she's underage, juvie time. She should serve some type of time. She should have something on her record. Somebody need to put an incentive on these hoes to not be evil, basically, because that's some fucked up ass shit. Even though, he was he's innocent, man, reputation is a motherfucker. I would sue the hell out them girls mammy for defamation. I swear to God I would. Tell you.
False accusations destroy lives on both sides. Let me break this down for you. When someone falsely accuses another, they are not just harming the accused, they're hurting every woman who speaks the truth about real harm. When trust is broken, survivors face doubt, judgment, and silence. Society begins to wonder, I wonder if she's lying like the rest of them. And that hesitation is a betrayal to every woman who needs justice. But it doesn't stop there. For the falsely accused, the damage is permanent. Reputation, gone. Career, over. Mental health, destroyed. Some even lose their lives over the accusation alone. So why should the punishment be directly proportional? Because the damage is, if the accused would have faced a certain amount of time in jail, then so should the false accuser. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
That's the only way to restore balance, family. It's not about men or women. It's about fairness and truly protecting everyone. Investigate every claim. Hold the guilty accountable, whether it's the accused or the accuser. We must protect the innocent, all of them. False accusations don't just harm people. They destroy the system itself, and we all deserve better. Peace. All right, so that's kind of where it was coming from, and then we got into, domestic violence claims and things of that nature. And 2K, when you came up, of course, we're talking about sheer insults and, I would say derogatory, inflammatory statements like that of, hey, I slept with your wife. So let's say me and you online, we're going back and forth, we're arguing, and I say, that's why I messed with your wife. I wouldn't say that's malicious intent to destroy your life, because we're going back and forth. However, if I just come up with an elaborate scheme to paint this picture like I slept with your wife, bro, there should be a penalty for that. You wasn't bothering me. I did that to you and your family and brought this reputation on your family. Now you walk out with your wife, they looking at her like she slept with me or some shit. That's foul as hell. That's your legacy, bro. And so I think that when it's not some type of internet beef, we get that. But when it's someone who just deliberately says, I want to punish this person, relationship didn't work out, I'm gonna lie and say that he abused me. I'm gonna lie and say she abused me. I'm going to tell this lie to ruin their life or change people's opinions of them. Yeah, it should be a law against that, because people leverage that too often, and they're not God. I call it burning down the house on their way out. You break up with this girl, you don't want to talk to her no more. Now she gonna leave out, say you beat on her, never treated her right, you was gay, she tossed your salad, every little thing she can say to ruin your name, and that should be illegal. If she break up with you, you don't get to beat her up. So she don't get to beat you up.
Right.
It's immature, bro. Go your way. People break up all the time, and people are using their immaturity to ruin people's lives. I get you want to be with them. They don't want to be with you. You don't get to ruin a life. If my wives decided that they didn't want to be with me, and I got on social media and said, yo, they kept on cheating, I kept catching them with dudes, and it kept saying stuff that ruined their name, I should go to jail for that. I should be punished for that.
I agree.
Yeah, man, it's a time that because it's gotten so overwhelming, we got to stop it. We got to. And what if we all did that? How could we all petition this to get together as a community and say it needs to be a law? False accusations need to be a federal law in every state. And just so we can put a stop to that. How would we go about doing it? I've never done anything like that. I know you'd have to do some type of petition or something like that, but do y'all know anything about that? How do we go about that? I don't
Oh,
believe in politicians, and that's my weakest suit ever. I can't tell you who in office nowhere. I don't give a damn. I'm like the rabbits and the deer. I don't believe in none of it. But I do understand that locally, our votes do matter, and it takes all of us together to unite and change the the world that benefits everybody involved. I would hate for my sons to have to live in this world the way it is right now and the way the laws are set up. It's completely unfair, and it needs to be fair for our sons and our daughters.
Mm.
yeah.
I'm with you on that, Kevin. I don't really follow politics too much. It gets real like messy when you're dealing with politics. I think that the individuals that exist in their communities should create these cornerstones or these groups of where people defend the truth or people do their own personal investigations, and we should have something socially. If we can't even do it from a legal perspective as far as politics, we should definitely at minimum have a community of people that will investigate this type of stuff and then have certain rules and things that we have set in place to where if we find out that this is the type of person that you either gonna get castigated or you're or something like we have some type of structure. Because ultimately, if we just depending on the law, the fact that we having this conversation now shows you that the law has not done their due diligence to make sure isn't a problem. So
You're right.
it's like, well, who do we look to? If not us. So I think that this is a great conversation. And I want to know what you guys think as far as like what Kevin just asked because I'm not really sure outside of what we can do, for
I,
ourselves.
It's
I
easier
think
to do things locally, in your own city. You know, if you have a rapport with your mayor, if you live in a small city, you can get a law passed or something there for them to review. And then, of course, then after that, you got to take it to the state, which is a few hurdles or whatever. But if you have the report of your city and the mayor, it would be easy. But
Mhm.
it starts local, it starts local.
Yeah, probably knocking on some doors, petition sign, and getting some boots on the ground, making
Hmm.
starting a movement, so to speak. We could do that. That'll be a dope ass movement, yo. Because you got to think. You look back through history. You got the Million Man March. You got these events where people got together, and I think Martin Luther King did a march as well, a march to Selma, and these things where humans got out here and literally changed the world, man. I say in our lifetime, let's do some great shit like that in our lifetime. I'm 42, y'all. I'm almost out of here. Can we do? I'm trying to go down in history.
Let's work on Wolf's Law. Let's get Wolf's Law out there.
Yeah, Wolf's Law. Yeah, let's get that out there. A registry, man, for people who go out here lying like that and potential, legal charges and stuff like that. A law against that type of stuff. Yo, we would actually save so many people's lives out here and so many people's legacies out here with just that law alone.
Yeah.
Because we talk about like mandatory DNA testing. 2K, I'm sure you've seen that. But each man can just go get a DNA test. It's a Rite Aid on every corner. The heavier laws are ones like this, bro. If we could change shit like this, you making the world literally better for your sons. And I feel like we as men owe that to our sons, man, to make the world, and my sons and our daughters, to pave the world that they're safe in. And we've done a lot in the last few years to make the world safe for women. And I think
yeah,
we actually have to bring some balance now.
I would just for to say that. I think when it comes like not trying to be misogynistic or not that I care. Uh, I think that when it comes to making reform that support man, people drag their feet. Like child support need reform. Marriage need reform. You got I mean literally any law that give men equal footing to women. People just don't care. Child maternity, they just don't care.
I
And
would have
I know you're gonna push back. You got to protect the sisterhood now. So what you got to
No,
say?
I said
Stop it.
did you not hear me? I said I would have to agree. I do.
Okay.
Especially with child support. One of my brothers found out it wasn't his, and none of that money. He's fighting for that. He's not gonna get that back. He's been garnished for years, and the child wasn't even his. So I'm in agreement there. I agree when it comes to men. I do think that certain laws should be in place to protect you, especially a woman being able to make a false claim that you took something from her or harmed her in some way and it was false. Oh, I definitely think it needs to be crimes punishable by law for that. So I'm in agreement.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think marriage need reform too. That should be an option if it was up to me. If I was the president, like any other license, you will have to renew. So at a 5-year point, you can either get your marriage license renewed, or you could choose to break away with a less harsher sentence than actually getting divorced before time.
You know, I wouldn't argue with that. I definitely think that a lot of that stuff can be looked at. And I think that as long as it's not, what men will opt to do is just simply not get married. And what women will do is think that men are not taking them serious when really they're just trying to protect themselves. And I think that's what creates some of the biggest problems with our agendas in this world today. Men are trying to protect themselves when it comes to marriage, but women don't want to be devalued and asked to just be in a relationship without marriage. It doesn't give them any guarantees. And that's why I suggest things like your own contracts between each other that can give you guys those types of bonds. But government marriage is a very scary thing these days for whoever makes the most money. And so 2K is telling you guys how messed up it is for men, but it's typically because men make the most money. But ladies, if you guys made the most money, you would see what life was like as a man when it comes to marriage. This man can be with you and you can spend your life taking care of this man. And when he don't want to be with you anymore, he can leave you and get half of your assets and potentially the children too. And if you've seen this happen to wealthy women as well. So it happens mostly to men because it's mostly men who are at the advantage financially. Most of the time, women won't marry you if you make less than them. But because the dynamics of marriage and men being okay with that, we often end up at a disadvantage. I was going to show you guys a clip, and I'm looking for it. If I don't find it, I'll show it to you later. But that was also to 2K's point about child support. The government has actually admitted that child support is not for the man or the woman. It's for the government. That's why they get half of it, and they literally get billions of dollars in bonuses every year just for even having it existing. It's not for us at all. And so I always say child support shouldn't even be a legal thing. Parents should, the parents who produce those children should have to work that out between the two of them. That should be a civil issue, not a legal issue, because what the legal department does is they don't help the child, and they're saying they're helping the child, but to put any parent in jail for not funding the child is ludicrous because you're literally taking their father or mother away from them. That's so stupid to me. It's a easy way, a gateway from the school to prison pipeline, so to speak. Put these men in jail, put these women in jail who don't pay child support, and now you work them. And really, obviously, I don't know if you guys know what happens in the prisons, but they work these inmates just like any industry does. On the back of a lot of your products, it says made in China. They make them in prison. They're actually made in prison. They're not made in China. Like a lot of these products are not made in China. They're being put together by assembly lines in prison. And the inmates are now the new slaves. So this is not being taught to us because they don't say the word plantation. What they say now is prison. Yeah, of course, criminals go and they may deserve to be there. But the fact is, because there's not enough criminals, they create these bullshit laws so they can have more workers. And so a lot of our innocent people who are not criminals, they're in jail for simply bad parenting. And that's not criminal, guys. It's just not. We should choose who we have children with. And that's our accountability, not the government's. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but legally saying you got to pay me, I'm going to go to the courthouse and they doing all of that. I think that's the government in our business, so to speak.
Yeah, but that let me know one thing though. It's just way more benevolent men than it is women. Okay, and what I mean by that is, like, the only thing that stopped men from, let's just say, beating up women is other men, okay? Because we have all came to a conclusion that that's not right for y'all to be treating women like that. But women see the wrong in child support, but there's not a women group that we can turn to that can protect us, that'll speak on our behalf. So that just let me know it's not like a lot of good women out here. Like, long as the system's in their favor, they'll go with it. But if like in man case, the system in our favor, hey, we could just hit you. We don't got to listen to you. But we got a whole system just to protect these women.
Yeah, I think many men I think when men have these plights that women don't seem to care about or seem to be opposed to, I think we see that as they don't care about men. But I think it almost feels like it's taking their power away. If I think like a woman, I would hate to have a child that I have to look at and say, your daddy don't want to be here. And if I had any power over it, I'd probably try to access it anywhere I could. So I know that would suck. Just like I know it sucks for a man to know that he didn't want to have a child with her. He was just having fun and she going to have that mug anyway. Like I know it sucks. And so when men lobby for saying, why don't we get a right to step away from it? If you get a right to keep it, to her, it sounds unfair because now you're talking about her child ain't going to have a daddy. So I don't think that's them not caring about us. I think it's just them looking out for their best interest. But I think that if we took the time to look out for our best interest before we had sex, we'd never be in that position. The fact that we're ending up with partners who don't want to be there or partners who are toxic is because we're not vetting well. And we're ignoring our forefathers. We're not waiting until marriage. We're not taking all these necessary steps. And we're rebels, man. We shit on all that stuff. Well, why wait till marriage? What if the coochie ain't good? This is how we talk. And then we hate the world we live in. It's crazy. It's literally crazy. We hate the world we live in, but we're creating it every day. And to be able to change it, we would all have to step back and change ourselves because the world looks like us. It's nothing but us. It's a mirror. Men go out here and say, I wouldn't sleep I wouldn't be with a single mother, but they'll make one. And so you have to think like this. If you sleep with a single mother, but you wouldn't date her, you're part of the problem. And you might say, well, they're just what's the word? Free use or recreation. But no, if you're not going to be with the woman, stay away from her. And that sounds crazy. What are you saying? Men should just date who they like and who they want to be with? Yes. But as long as we're out here playing just hook up sex, the world's going to look like fatherless children, motherless children, broken homes. That's what it's going to look like because that's the result of our actions. We're not taking life seriously. We just, what they call it, plant your seed anywhere you want to plant it. And that's not how a man should do. And I think that responsibility is on us first as men. I think they teach us 2K that men have no low sex discipline. I think they teach us like that women are to guard themselves and men are to try to get it. But I think a self-realized man would know that his seed is valuable and he will be moving just like a woman would when it comes to protecting his body and his seed. He wouldn't get at any person. She'd have to be special.
I just don't think that that's our biological makeup. As much as women want us to be that, we wasn't designed like that. And that's why it takes so much work. If it was just as easy as not liking another man, we just wouldn't do it. We weren't built that way. So we wasn't built not to be. I'm trying to word this right because we wasn't built to be sexually disciplined. Now we weren't built out here to be strong arming no coochie or taking that. But we wasn't built to be monogamous. We was built to be spreading the seed around. That just
we spread our seed and we're monogamous. So and we're polygamous. So you're right. No, we wasn't built to be monogamous. And no culture who's building up could be actually. It'd be too slow. And so you need the men who are functional and have good genetics to pass their seed along. What I'm talking about is men choosing properly who they spread their seed to. So I'm not saying man chooses one woman. I'm saying a man is careful in the women that he chooses. You see what I'm saying? When we were tribal building, you're not about to put somebody in your tribe that could not hunt. Women had to be able to hunt too. And so there was more like rituals to determine who you was going to choose as your spouse, not just who had a big butt or who was giving it up at the time. You see what I'm saying? So recreational sex wasn't like part of our thing either.
I hate that discipline word because like a lot of women like be like, oh y'all niggas just ain't sexual discipline. Like that was never in our nature to be quote unquote disciplined.
Well, like, I say discipline for sake of not like you don't sleep with any woman just because she's giving it up, because any woman is not valuable to you. So that it takes a disciplined man to not sleep with her just because she got a fat butt. You see what I'm saying? So That's what I would call discipline, not by like a monk type of discipline.
I don't know if I even agree with that, Kevin, because okay, it's kind of like water or something you like.
Mm.
If your body want it, then you usually give it to your body. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of the same way. Like, hey, if your body yearning for that, then you try to give it to your body unless it's bad for your body.
I think that depends on the man. Well, I'm not a man. I can't speak to your urges, but Lenny Kravitz just admitted that he's been celibate for what, like 7 years now, and women drool over him. He can literally have any woman that he wants, and it's consensual. So I don't want to open that door, but I guess it just depends on the man and how evolved he is into where he's like, I'm not just going to lay down with anyone. It comes a point in time where I think in some men's life, not all, where they make better decisions with their penis.
I agree. I think that discipline is something that each individual, man, woman, or whoever has to cultivate within themselves. Like whether it doesn't matter the sex, you still have to have a certain level of discipline and discernment of who you choose to allow to have access to you. Because ultimately, if you do choose to lay down with somebody, there are lasting trickling effects of that. Let's say you get this person pregnant, you have to now you have to be around this person for a lifetime, and you have to work with them, and this can either make or break your legacy depending on the mentality of that individual and the certain integrity that they have for themselves. So you still have to use discipline. Like Kevin says, not like a Buddhist monk or in Tibet or nothing, but definitely like discernment. Like you, just because somebody want to give you some don't mean you got to give it to them. You got to, like, is this your type of person? Because you're not just laying with a physical body. They're spiritual entities that are also attached to individuals, and if that's not something that you would want to be in your life, you gotta pick and choose.
Yeah.
Right, and I think sex was valued more back then as a contract. If I'm sleeping with you, I'm taking care of you, and that's regardless of how many. You look at how animals act in the wild today. Horses, lions, all of them. There's a male who is dominant. The females would like to carry his genes on because he's dominant. He's large. He can protect them, and he gets access to the resources. And in order for a man to get those access, he has to put his strength on display, which is to defeat that horse. And then he'd have all the other horses or horses with him in his stable. You see what I'm saying? But that's the world we live in. And so I think a man in survival mode would sleep with whoever he could, wherever he could get it, he'll get it. But a man who's accomplished, a man who's building a legacy and a tribe, he ain't sleeping with any and everybody. And that's why I use the scripture a lot, even though I don't believe in scripture. I think it's just a very wise quote. It is that a wise man does not just throw his seeds in the air and let them lay everywhere, let them fall where they may. He puts it in the dirt he wants it to grow from. So if I'm building a tribe, I want women around me who can hunt, who can plant, who's sufficient maternally to grow my children, nurture them, and myself. And it's unlimited as that is. I'm blessed the more wives I have in that regard. But if I have women, if I'm just sleeping with any and everybody, now I gotta, the women in my life are now a burden to me. I've mishandled my seed. That's my problem. It ain't my baby mama. It's where I chose to put my seed. And a lot of times the problem with a lot of women is they're not understanding it's not their baby daddy that's the problem. It was their choice. A lot of times all those red flags was presenting themselves that this man was not somebody that you would want to father your children. And because you liked him, because we weren't raised on how to actually find a partner, you went off of how you felt about this person. And you gave this person access to your womb. And now you're stuck with him for a lifetime. And you've reproduced after the same man. That's our fault. It's our responsibility because that's a choice that we made. And I say putting the government in that is inappropriate. It's not a government thing. Hey, my baby daddy won't take care of his baby. It's like, and go get with your baby daddy or get with your father, get with your parents, and y'all got to raise y'all baby. You chose that person. Just like the man saying, hey, this woman had this baby, dropped it off on me and don't want to take care of it at all. That's your problem, sir. You should have chose a woman who wanted to be there for their child. That it is what it is. Making that a government problem is crazy when you can just give your children up to the government. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I hate to interject. I gotta drop down. My battery is about to die, but I wanted to Appreciate Kevin for bringing me up on the platform. I appreciate Chatty Cathy. I like your the way you think and the points that you brought forth and the insight that you give. Shout out to 2K. It was definitely fun talking to each and every last one of y'all. But I'm a drop down and I'll catch you guys next time.
Pleasure having you, King.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy world, and we've moved the topic, of course. But 2K, I'd like to have you back, man, and discuss this topic of marriage and child support, because I think a lot of women don't understand the detriment that these things do have on men. So when men state their concerns about them, they feel attacked, and they think that we have a problem with women. But the problem is the laws that don't protect us from toxic women. It's not right. Women. We love women. We love women, yo. I promise you we do. We love y'all. It's just scary to marry y'all under these laws, yo.
Yeah, because it's like you putting everything you got up for sweepstakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't get no benefits from it besides a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So me and my wife, we were having a knockdown discussion this morning. Because she was she was telling me, like, she was showing me a video of this dude who paid everything, like myself, and he also helped her with the chores.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, okay, why would I do 100% of what I'm supposed to do and then do 50% of what you're supposed to do? I was like, at that point, you will be making yourself disposable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can get, if you just doing 50% of that and I'm doing 150%, then I could just go get another wife. And she was like, this how you feel? And so we just had like a little knockdown discussion about that.
And see, listen, I'll be the first to say, man, you know, as a man, we should resource our family. But 2K, did you know a man resourcing his family is actually a broken tribe? We call a broken home when a man and a woman, the mother and father is not in the same home. But a tribe, each party contributes to the resources. The man hunted, the woman gathered. But what we're doing in what we call a family is the burden of all the resources is on the man. So this one person is bringing in wealth for a whole family, when every family member should be bringing in wealth. The wolves hunt together, bro. The lions hunt together. We as humans treat our children like baby birds. And if we're doing well enough as men, we treat our wives like baby birds too. The only way they just got to go to the fridge. They're not actually going out and helping. And you're right. A kept woman, I always say this, a kept woman is a woman with no value, a replaceable woman. Why would you want to have a tribe and you not contribute to it? To me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's if I would want my wife to take pride in what she does as far as the home domestically, if I'm taking care of all the bills. She's just like I'm taking pride in what I can do for her. I want her to take pride in it, not try to get out of it. And that's so unfortunate when that happens, you know. Yeah. But to me, the perfect wife is not just taking care of home. She's making sure she supports you, how you save your money, how you make your money that she can make on the side. Because again, back in the day, women were expert hunters. You use a bow and arrow to hunt, and women used to beat us in archery contests. They can hunt with the best of them. They just can't carry the animal back. So we are necessary. Men are necessary in the hunt, but women can be used in the hunt. So when we tell women that we don't want you to work, we are breaking tribal code. And that's why our legacies are so broken. It shouldn't be on you alone as a man to leave your children an inheritance. It's everybody included. Listen, man, everybody in my tribe go to work. My children are grown. My sons are bigger than me. So that's 3 Kevins in the house now. Yeah. So the same way we take care of the chores in the house, we all go to work. We all produce money.
Yeah. And
so we pay off this house, we own it. And then when they leave, they're buying a house and not going and renting. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but to Pimo point, Pimo told me I could still help. But if I help, then I'm helping her decrease her value in the house. And I don't want to do that. See, I'm one of them dudes, like, I play because I'm in a hard time, Kevin. Like, I know what a traditional woman is, but most of the women are modern. So I'm willing to adjust. So, like, I tell my girl, okay, if you independent, be independent. Like, I told her, if you could push a lawnmower, if you could push a baby stroller, you could push a lawnmower. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm willing to let you be whatever you want to be, but you have to be that and just that, because you can't be putting me in the blender instead of having me change my role.
Well, yeah,
When you don't feel like doing something.
yeah. And go ahead, Chatty.
I mean, everybody's marriage is different, but when it comes to a woman and being independent, I think somehow, some way, it got misconstrued as she's modernized and not traditional and doesn't have those traditional values. It's just at times, I think a lot of women, we do want to feel independent, like we can have it. We might know that we can't, we might try to open that pickle jar and then know we have to ask you, but that's a part of our strength. And that's what helps us be better wives and to nurture you so that we do still have that moment of independence. We're not saying we want to take away the traditional roles just by having an ounce of independence. That doesn't make us modernized.
You
It's just,
can
go ahead.
you can get that sense of independence from your open up stuff. You go be Superman to them. But when it comes to me, I need you to be a lady. I just be soft. Like,
Yeah, I often wonder what do you guys mean by
But is it
independence? Because when you're married, neither one of you is to be independent. You are to be dependent on each other. You're now a cohesive unit. So to a marriage, to a man, a woman saying independent is a scary word.
yeah.
But I think what women are saying is they want to have purpose. They want to matter. They want to contribute to the union as well. So I don't think a woman is looking to be independent from her husband as much as she is being a contributor to her tribe. And in most cases, it's like, just stay at home and clean and cook. What is that? What am I doing? I want to matter too. I want my word to matter too. And it should. And I think that's where it gets lost.
I ain't with that.
because I would say if he pays all the bills, all of the bills, and 1 month I'm going to surprise him and I'm going to take the electric bill, that's me being independent, but it's also helping our household. I'm saying I love you enough to where you've been doing this. I want to do something for you in my independence, but it doesn't make me rough. It doesn't mean that I'm not soft. It's just in that moment I'm helping my king in this instance. And it's still very much soft and very much feminine, but still an ounce of independence to say, I got you when I can. And just let me have you sometimes. It's kind of the equivalent to where if the little boy falls down and you want to pick him up and nurture him, just let me have this moment with you. That's not taking away from, being the traditional woman or traditional wife. It's just in that moment, let me be independent and also help you, help us.
Respectfully, I'll be pissed off if if you came and paid the light bill for 1 month.
Okay.
I feel
Why?
it.
Why would you?
I don't know. You just, I don't know. Like, gee, I do this 12 times a year, and you come in with 1 month and you think it's a significant impact. Like the thought was cute, but like this, what's this for? I don't see the point in it.
So let's say if you take away money, right, and you're surviving off of hunting, right, and she was bringing, the garden to the table, you wouldn't have a problem with that, right?
Not at all.
That's essentially the same. If the resources are resources, right? So
Yeah,
and I think that's honestly what cripples how families function. If you were going and hunting, you're going and catching the deer, you're catching the fish, you're coming back home, and she's bringing the vegetables to the table. She is literally working. That's an income. She's out there in the garden. She's putting in labor just like you, and then she's bringing that to the table. So that's two people working, literally.
but Kevin, she said she'll pay the light bill 1 month. That's equivalent to that guard dying out the next day. Like,
well,
you feed me with a little bit of this.
well, no. Okay, so
you take it away.
So you saying okay, hang on. You saying she's paying your bill, which is doing your part. She's still clean and take care of the household. You just saying you're the resources for her taking care of a bill for you wouldn't be something that you would appreciate. So that's like her going one day with you hunting, and you saying you wouldn't appreciate it. But if she can help you catch more on that hunt, then it would be appreciated. Now maybe you don't need the light bill money, and that's what you're saying. Well, what am I going to do with it? It's just money that I mean, this couple $100, what I'm gonna do? You know, I don't need your money. Save your money or whatever. I think I see what you're saying, but I guess I'm more along lines looking at what Chatty is saying as far as she wants to be a contributor to you, and she goes and says, "I'm gonna take care of this light bill, knock a load off for you." You may say, "Well, I don't need that. Could you do this instead? I don't need you to pay a light bill. I'm good on that, right? What I can use is this in this way." And if Chatty say it again.
Okay, so I kind of like, I don't like stuff being done for me that can be done all the time, but you just choosing to do it. And I always tell my youngest, like, be weary of stuff like this example that I'm for the name. Okay, let's say you pay all the bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 month your girl say, "Hey, I'm gonna pay all the bills. Don't worry about it." Like, you really allowed her to save up that money to do something like that. So it's not really that you got to take a break. It's that she been on so many breaks that she can do it for you. So it's really not a break for you because you allow her to do it. So I don't like little gestures like that. To me, don't be slaps in the face.
What if it's not money she saved? What if it's some type of bonus she got, or she hits on some type of
I would allow,
casino, and she's like, "I'm gonna take a load off my husband, baby. You ain't got to pay bills for 6 months. I'm gonna let you stack up. I came into this little bit of bread. Now you can take that 6 months of income, and put that into a business and you build yourself up. That's better for the family overall." And you would be able to say, if my wife didn't come with this capital in the time that she did, I wouldn't have what I have, and that's your help me. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know how I feel about it, bro, because at the end of the day, what
2K, this is what I would say to you.
Okay.
I would say you are an enemy of progress.
I'm not.
I would say if you had, let's say you're a poly, you had 2 wives, right? And now you got another contributor to your life and y'all's abundance. You would see that help as not needed because you could do it yourself. When you got all these people in the house that could go hunting now and contribute, you wouldn't actually delegate and use them effectively. Because you see, every member should contribute. So if you're breaking down her contribution and saying, "I don't need it," or whatever, you don't see how you're limiting her value to your tribe, because it's as much as hers as it is yours. No, you're just the authority figure of it. You're leading it.
I'm thinking about the temporary aspect of it. Don't give it to me sometime when you're able to provide it all the time.
But if you can take that temporary thing and do something with it, she comes and pays your bills for a month. Say your bills are $8,000 a month. She pays them for 1 month. Now you got this $8,000. You can put that in stocks. You can put that somewhere else and increase that money. That was a benefit to you. Now she could put it in savings too, and that's still a benefit to you because now you have money that you got more money than you're making on your own. And instead of someone as a burden. So when you have a spouse, children who just receive your income,
okay,
so it's still a dynamic. Don't get me wrong, but when you have every person contributing, you can see how that family would get further into the future than the one family where the man is solely paying for everything himself.
So Kevin, this is my problem with it. Okay, let's say the bill is $8,000 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she make money. All right. The other 11 months, I had to pay $88,000. I allowed you to save up money to give me, which is just my money. Because if you pay my bills, that's $8,000 a month, and the other 11 months, 11 times 8,000 is 88,000. Then all you did was just gave me some of my money back.
But see, because you created the opportunity for her to work and save where she wouldn't have that without you. So it's proven that 2 are better than 1. But we need this to be truly thriving instead of just surviving. So if she saves that money for you, that's much better than a wife who spent that money on herself and that money's in the closet. This means she was considering you all the while she was saving it. So to you, you got a blessed wife, and instead you would see that as a slight against your, I guess, manhood or leadership. Or I think mainly it's just pride and responsibility. I think you take pride in taking care of your family. And I think that someone helping you is almost like a stab at that. But I think a great wife is not thinking about just herself. She's thinking about her tribe just like you are. And so if she's stacking up bread and she goes, "Hey, I got a whole bill. I want a whole month of rent I want to cover. You might say, as the authoritarian, the leader of the family, no, let's not put it here. Let's put it here. I got the rent, but we can definitely use those funds here. Or you may even say to her, baby, you deserve that. Go do your thing with it. Buy that, pay that car off, pay off that, what's the name? You got to go do whatever. We take a vacation, something. But I think that you're blessed to have a wife who's trying to contribute versus just putting red bottoms in the closet. Do that make sense?
Yeah.
I think
So
too many times.
I want to make sure I understand, Suke. So basically, in your opinion, you're saying if that's your role and what you do, your mate needs to basically just stick to the script. If that's your arrangement, don't switch up. In other words,
yeah, because I wouldn't come. Okay. I wouldn't come wash the dishes one day and then act like I did something when I know you do this 365. So I wouldn't even jump in your lane like that. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's just a matter of play your position. In other words,
just do your position to the max.
Now I'll say this: now, if me as a man, I chose to say, you know what, I'm gonna take a load off my wife tonight. I'm gonna go in there and wash them. I hate washing dishes. Okay, so if I do it, she knows she coming off everything. We know that it's about to be crazy in here. Okay. No, I'm just playing. But I'm just saying, okay. So I take care of the dishes, right? My least favorite thing to do. If she tells me, you doing something for one day that I'm gonna do anyway to help me, I'm gonna feel like a piece of shit. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be like, damn, it's like that. But if she like, oh baby, that made me feel so good, come on in here, I might do that more often. So it's all on how you treat that. If she comes to you like, hey, I want to help out with this bill or something that you got. If you like, baby, look, you sitting here thinking about me, you could have invested in yourself. Hey man, let me go ahead and make this worth it to you. Instead of, hey man, don't be bringing me nothing. Don't be breaking protocol.
Yeah.
I do get what you're saying. My thing is, you would run a healthy relationship if the protocol is followed. You wouldn't falter because you are the utilitarian. You're gonna do your part, and all you asking for is for them to do theirs. I get that. I just believe that that's a family and not a tribe. And I think families, men in the end end up losing. And I think the women do too. I think in the end, men lose their families. You work hard, put all your savings to the side to put your children through college, buy their cars, their health care and everything. And by the time they're grown, you spent your resources taking care of them. If anything were to happen to your resources and you need them, say you're old and your health is on the line and your resources ain't even a problem. If you don't want to live in a retirement home and you want to live with them, in most cases, these kids today are not letting their parents even live with them after they've raised them. So I'm noticing that most of us who raise a family don't end up getting one in our elder years. Old people are not seen as valuable anymore. But in tribes, old people were the most valuable. They had experience and wisdom. Even though they couldn't get out here and hunt as much, they had skills and knowledge to help you create better tools and traps to where they didn't even need their strength. So, but we don't value our older people anymore. It's like, so we're going to spend our youth taking care of our children, giving our wives a good, strong husband. And in your older age, when you're not as strong, you lose that family. When your family should be stronger as you get weaker. But as you getting weaker, your family getting weaker because we're not as men literally raising tribes.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? We're losing in the end. Men are not only just losing if the marriage breaks down, we're losing if the marriage completes. If we run it in the dynamic that we're used to running it. Wives can contribute, man. I promise you, they're very valuable. Now you think back in the day, they wouldn't let women work. That's why we did this. That's what broke our culture. But men and women contributed to their tribes. And I know cleaning and cooking is contributing. I often tell women, you don't know how valuable your position in the kitchen is. You're actually in control of the health. Yeah, you're the doctor of the house. What you serve that man is everything to his mind, his body, his soul. Why would you not, embrace that position with pride? That's the most important position. But they just think it's cooking. So we've lost so much of that. I think this would be a rites of passage to truly see the value in what family is so we can stop breaking our homes like this.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, man, I got to get ready for a show.
Yes, sir. What time you going?
It's in another hour. I got to go ahead and get up.
Okay, that's a bet. What you talking about?
I don't know. I really don't. Today just one of them days I just talk in front of the camera.
We're gonna catch you, man. Y'all got to catch 2K if you ain't heard him. He got a dope platform, and I'll tell you, the most exciting platform I've ever been on. ridiculous. I think I would compare you to the likes of Ringo TV. I knew a Ringo TV a few years before you, and one of the things about Ringo was just how dope his platform looked. Man, the way you got your shit set up, it makes me want to make mine better, bro. It's amazing, bro. You got a real it's real set up over there, real good outfit. They say when I was in trucking, they call it shit an outfit. You got a good outfit over there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
But all right, though, man. Next time you do something, just let me know, bro. I come on, kick it with your politics.
That's a bet, bro. Thanks.
I say less.
Yo, that was dope conversation having 2K up here. Of course, I love Chatty up here. Her wisdom, her insight, and the way she just dialogues is just great. I'd actually like to have Lacey and Jamie come up here too. I saw Lacey extra drop the link earlier. Maybe she was asking that for someone else or herself, but great topics today, family. I want to do more on the things we talked about towards the end of this show. Marriage, child support, the healthiest dynamic in how to run a family. What's the most efficient way to get into the future so you're leaving a true inheritance to your children, not just money, but discipline, responsibility, work ethic. I think your children should work with you early in life. I think that when we see Chinese people and Hispanic people with their children inside of their shops, I think that's what we should be doing, what we call that exploitation. You should hunt with your family when you're a young pup, when you're a young lion, and that way that's already in your DNA. We do treat our children like baby birds, man. They be grown as hell and still don't be contributing to our household. That's crazy. And then we put them out here to pay rent to somebody on a place they're never going to own. And half the time we be still renting. Man, make them kids pay your house off so you don't got to stay with them whenever you broke. They can come stay with you. They always got a place to stay in. Bro, where can I send a message for fam? Send it to Kevin Wesley B_rise on Instagram. And I'll be wanting to talk with you anyway, brother. That'll be dope. Let's do that. Please send me that soon too. Shoot me your number. I'll reach out to you today if you're available.
I'm going to drop down so you can do your closeout. I wanted to say thank you for having me as a guest. It's always so enlightening on your platform. I literally love learning from everyone. I love different perspectives, even if they differ from my own. I love these types of conversations that we can do as adults, as men, as women. And yeah, just thanks for having me. So appreciative.
Thank you again. I always love it myself.
You're welcome. Take care.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, she's right, guys. The disagreements are well put forth with logic, and that's what it means for iron to truly sharpen iron. There needs to be something abrasive rubbing up against something else to sharpen it, to truly sharpen it. And so that's what we're doing here. We're giving our thoughts. Our thoughts are not coming from a place of just being thrown out there. They're coming from a place of our own experiences, guys. And they're beautiful. I've been seeing things differently than how I initially started the video off. So if I didn't have Chatty up here, I wouldn't have been enlightened. And same with Joey and then 2K. Everybody brought something unique to the table, and so you shouldn't automatically want everybody to agree. You should welcome disagreements because that's where the sharpening is going to come into play. I used to always say when I believed in religion, I used to always say, God, rub up against me and everything that's not like you, even if it's uncomfortable. Let's get it done so I'm sharper. And that's the only thing that's going to make you sharper is grinding off the things that shouldn't be there, leaving what should. So that being said, family, let's continue to have these type of builds. I always say it takes a village, family. And so we all recognize that there are problems going on in our communities on an individual level. And if you have any type of development to you, hopefully you understand this on a larger level, a community level as well. And so I believe that every one of our purpose is to come here ultimately to make the world a better place and to use whatever gifts you have to do that. And I think that the world is always going to look like the attention that we pay to it, the time that we pay to it. It's on us, family. So if we change ourselves, we have changed the world. And so we just got to get enough people who are willing to do that. So our children, our sons and daughters can live in a better place. You know, I think this was an awesome build. And I think that, like I said, those topics discussed at the end were some pretty heavy topics that the genders could definitely disagree on and for real reasons, not just women want to use men for their money or men don't like women no more. It's way more complex than that. And I'm telling y'all, the government is behind it. They're trying to make marriage as difficult as possible because it benefits them to have single homes and broken homes. Okay. It doesn't benefit them for us to stay together and save. It benefits them for us to have broken homes and be trying to keep up with the matrix, fashion and bags and jewelry and all that whatnot. We stay broke, they get richer. That's the goal. But we should be focusing on our family and tribes, trying to get into the future. Okay. That should be the goal. But that being said, family, thank y'all so much for joining me, man. Catch me on the next time. I might do this again in the morning, okay, in the rise. I think it's some games getting started today. It's Saturday, some playoff games today. I'm going to get to those. And, yeah, looking forward to talking to you soon, Cowboys fan, Angry Cowboys fan. Peace to you guys. Have a good one. And I saw my sister come in here, Dawn. I saw my sister come in here, Toya. And again, thanks to all the content creators. Thank you to Jamie and Lacey, all you guys who support it. All right. Peace to you guys. And Upper, if you listening, I would love to do some of these builds with you now. I'm starting to think you don't like me like that. I think you just treat me cordial and you nice to me. But I don't really think you fucking with me, Upper. This is the second time I've said this publicly. I love to have you and your opinions on my platform, woman, okay? You powerful. Quit hiding over there. Come over here, okay? I know there don't be a lot of people on here, but it's 200 and something thousand people who can have access to this. And I'm trying to give you brilliant minds a stage, okay? All right. See y'all soon, man. Peace.